Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming on the show again. Sorry, I have to scrape my head off. Yeah, last night it was a different ball game entirely, but today is a different ball game as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show today. We're gonna have some cracking moment because we have a better combination today. Yesterday was good. Today is going to be even be golder. Not just good, but golder. So we're going to be talking about African politics again, and I have some few starting points to look at. I have some few things that I would like to say. First of all, I want to say a very big congratulations to Rose Peter Graham on the back of a baby. Wow! Same day as the Prime Minister of Britain has got a baby today. Rose has got a baby as well. So congratulations to Rose Peter Graham on the back of a baby. Today, I have a different mixture, a different breeds of people. And I'll probably say I have a breeds of different gentlemen on the show compared to what we had in the last few days. And I believe we're going to have a very cracking moment on the show today. Let me reveal our guests so that we can start introducing ourselves. The first person I'm going to introduce to you, who needs no big introduction, is Mr. Femi. Okay? Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello, Harry, nice to be here.
Okay, the next one, who hasn't been here before, is a JJC. I think there's some few messages from home about him that we should take it easy on him. We shouldn't scrape him, and we should make sure he brought his glasses back home when he's coming back home because he's wearing glasses, which he said to me is reading glasses. It's a gentleman that I would like to introduce. It's not new to media. Is Golden Azu. Welcome to the show, sir.
Great pleasure.
Wow, look at
Salute you all everywhere you are watching this. Be ready for the night. I'm here for you.
cracking. You even have a sip of his whiskey. I don't think whiskey is brown. That's a brown bottle glass. That looks brown. That's
It's whiskey and coke. Whiskey
so
and coke.
you're not a really good animal, innit? You're just a soft animal. That's why they say we have to take it easy on you.
It allows my brain to be alert and whiskey.
And the next one I want to talk about is this young man here. He's becoming a popular face on the show now in the name of Frank Bello.
Yes. Good evening, Godson Azu. Good evening, Femi Oke.
So,
Great to see you, Frank. Been a long time.
and
Yes, indeed. Godson.
keeping the operation manager at bay today is in the background working tirelessly to make sure everything works well for us all. And the next one I'm gonna introduce to us all, who is probably gonna be not the last one tonight, because it's gonna be like the weakest link tonight. If you messed up, we're gonna kick you out and replace you. We have some few contestants who want to replace other people. So the people at home, like we did yesterday, you can actually vote for the person to kick out. But we're gonna give them about when it's about 11:30 or 11:45. We're gonna have the first vote on the first person to kick out on the show tonight. So the last one I want to introduce is actually pulling his beard down. He's got a good beard. He's not new to us here. He's our constitution expert, I call him, because he knows a lot about constitution. And yesterday I showed a video that someone said, you know our problem in Nigeria? This is the problem. If you don't rip this thing up, this country is not going to work. So I'm going to try and bring that one again today. And this gentleman is called Citizen AY. Ayo Gundemu. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good evening.
Okay.
Hi, thank you.
Cracking.
Evening. You're welcome.
So Golden Azu is the one who's new here. So we're gonna have to open the show with him. We have to initiate him a little bit because if we don't initiate him, he's not good enough. So we're gonna try and initiate him, but we got a message from him that we should take it easy on him. I don't know how we're gonna take easy on any politician, anyone that wants to talk about politics. So that's the shame about it all as well. You know what he did? He actually turn the lightning in the room down so that we won't see his face that much. So, but we don't care. We can still see you. You can wear that glasses. It doesn't matter. We can still see you. If you hide behind one finger, I can tell you one thing. We can still see you. No matter where we are, we can see you. So prepare for the night. Mr. Godinazo, I'm gonna ask you a straight question, and I want a straight answer. The speech the other day, I'm gonna go back to it. We might talk religion a little bit today as well. We might talk religion a little bit because there's a picture that someone has just sent me that I might want us to talk about as well a little bit. Not that much, but we're gonna talk a little bit about it. The message from the president was, it wasn't, don't tell me it's recorded, don't tell me nobody was there to query him. It wasn't a press briefing, it was an address. An address is, I tell you something, you don't have to say anything back to me. It doesn't matter whether it's recorded or live or whatever, as long as he say he passed on the message, and he has managed to do that. So apart from those two things, can you tell me whether you see anything good in the message or you didn't see anything good? And if there's anything good in the message, tell us what is good in the message. God knows.
Thank you very much. I do not want to pass anything back to you,
Yeah.
but I'd like to say very emphatically and very clearly, with all due respect to everybody listening out there, and in all honesty, I did not listen. I have never sat down to listen to the president's so-called address so far. It's not an act of dishonor, but it's a matter of distaste, because you listen to speeches that make sense in its rational context, and speeches that are just meant to give publicity face to a group, a circle, a set, a class of leaders, doesn't warrant the time of my person to sit down and over a TV set listening to a message that does not change the reality of purpose, the reality of time, and the center point of crisis in a particular society or environment, so to say. So I wouldn't be able to say, oh, this is what is good about the message or what is not good about the message. The message is just kind of a holistic rendezvous that everybody have been listening to, and they will continue to listen to that kind of stories probably till the end of 2023 without anything much change from it. You see, I have had a lot about the person of Mr. President. In fact, I'm still one of those who is still digging deep to actually find the real emphatic truth about the person of Buhari, Muhammad Buhari, as the real Muhammad Buhari, or a clone Muhammad Buhari, or a photocopied Muhammad Buhari, or a replacing Muhammad Buhari. Unfortunately, when you have a situation like this, surrounded by people who have ulterior motives, highly myopic individuals who think about themselves alone and nothing else, it becomes very challenging to really get to know the reality of the person of Buhari of 1984, Buhari of 1996, Buhari of 2023, Buhari of 2011, Buhari of 2015, and Buhari of 2020. Obviously, we are waiting, just like coronavirus came without no notice, just like we are all fighting a virus that even the prophetess and the prophets and bishops and archbishops, including the Pope himself, could not see. Very soon, very soon, every masquerade surely will be unmasked, either by one person or a group of people. There is no masquerade that sleeps with his masquerades all the time. So hopefully we'll find out. And one of the reason, or the second reason, is for we to have a president that determines when he speaks to his people and when he does not want to speak to his subjects. It's highly ridiculous. It's unfounding. It's disheartening. It's something that is becoming germane in this present administration, unlike what is expected or seen in other people's government or citizens-oriented democracy. What we have in Nigeria today is a presidency that is landlocked or human locked to what they want Nigerians to see and to what they want Nigerians to believe. And unfortunately, I do not want to spend my precious time listening to the speeches of Mr. President when it does not change the kind of change that in my context and in the context of many enlightened young men and women with the blood of Nigeria flowing in their skins and in their body want to see. So I'm sorry to say this, Thomas and the viewers. There's nothing in that speech, as much as I've seen in social media, not physically listening to it, that makes a headway for me to debate about here, rather than to say that it's all part of the ongoing jamboree in the government of the present administration. And it's unfortunate that Nigeria of today, in the 21st century, is faced by this photocopying, masquerading, myopic, non-directive state of governance in our present country. And unfortunately, some of the governors are doing the footstep of the president, because they said if the head is rotten, the body is completely rotten. So most governors are absolutely behaving like the president in some way or the other. You know, they either claim to be suffering coronavirus when they are not suffering anything. They're having malaria, they turn it to coronavirus. They have meningitis, they call it coronavirus. They have typhoid, they say it's coronavirus. It's unfortunate that people deceive themselves, and then many people just have the time to listen to them. I think we are at the crossroad in our country, so-called country, Nigeria, that some of us here in the diaspora are getting ready, seriously getting ready. Maybe as time progresses in this discourse, I'll open up for the fact that there is need for us to speak out and take responsibilities, and not just talking, but walking the walk, doing the doings. And so I'll wait to see what happens as we go on this program, and I will let you know more about what our intents are moving forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The reason I put the two screens together is because I've actually chosen who's going to respond to all your Julius Caesar speech. Yeah. Julius Caesar said something like this in Rome some few years ago, and they chop his head off. So I'm going to give Femi the chance now and see what he wants to do with you tonight. Did someone said like concubine? Concubine. Yeah, the problem of Nigeria starts from line one. Oh, okay. Okay, Femi, you've heard what this gentleman said. Today we're gonna refer to people as gentlemen. We're not gonna be too harsh on him because until he take his glasses off. If he ever take his glasses off, then we can do whatever we like. If he didn't take his glasses off, we take it easy with him. So, Femi, respond to him saying what it is. Okay, let's crucify him. He's taking the glasses off. Femi, go ahead.
Him again for so long. It seems like he's still fighting the 2019 election battle that's gone. He's put forward his motto. He's talking about the alleged president, the fake president, the duplicate president. I mean, those are not serious statements, to be quite frank. We all know that you can't clone a person and they're going to be here now. Dolly the sheep is not even up to how many years when Dolly the sheep was created. So it's not a fantasy discussion. We need to focus on reality. The reality is that, as rightly said, it's of no interest to him what the president said. And the reason why it's of no interest to him is because he's not living in Nigeria and he has no reason to know what the president is saying, because the implications of what the president is telling Nigerians is important and germane to Nigerians within Nigeria. So being he's in the diaspora, it's more important for him to know what Boris is saying rather than what, of course, our president Nigeria is saying. Some of us who are interested in politics, interested in what's going on in Nigeria, and want to take an active part in that, and we know we have our relatives and family there, it's of course quite keen for us to be of interest as to what the president is saying, because if in case any of our relatives didn't hear the message, we would be the ones to pass that same message on to them about the fact that the lockdown has been extended. It's nationwide. It's not just in Lagos, Abuja, and then Ogun State, but it's nationwide. And there's other restrictions and stuff, and we pass that information on to other Nigerians. So the thing is, it's everybody knows the world over that this COVID-19 is a pandemic. It's not the fault of Nigeria or any African leader or any in particular. It's a pandemic that's going around the world. Nations and leaders have to do their bit. Of course, you've rightly said that it was a political address, a presidential address. It wasn't answer and questions that was not necessary for us. They have the presidential task force who do daily briefings with the media, and they ask the pertinent questions to the experts, because it's important to ask the questions to the experts. We know even now, even in the UK, Boris Johnson isn't at every single question and answer session answering questions. So it's not really necessary for the president, who is actually our president, is our head of government, and also the ceremonial head, like the Queen. The Queen doesn't always go to answer questions. So it's not really necessary. We know the type of government we have. And the thing that I find most disturbing about Nigerians in the way they sort of characterize or caricature our presidency is that whoever would have been the president at the last 2019 election, you'd have had either Mr. Atiku or you'd have had Buhari. To me, they are both of the same generation of Nigerians that Nigerians don't want to see in our governance anymore. So it's irrelevant whether it's Buhari or Atiku or whoever. We have what we have on ground. And I like we had Femi Fani-Buhari the other day, a complete anti-Buharist, actually was honest in commentary and supporting what the president was saying. Because if you hear what the president is saying, you cannot go against what he's saying, because it is obviously the right thing. That is what he said. And we are in a time of crisis for Nigerians to come together and unite to protect ourselves from the pandemic. Because if we're not careful, the largest African nation, our largest black nation on the planet, if the pandemic was lowered in Nigeria, it would be unthinkable, the consequences throughout West Africa, throughout Africa as a whole. The problem in Kano, I think it's a bit alarmist, but in actual fact, when we look into it, there's more likelihood that it has nothing to do with corona, because most of the people that are dying, I mean, Kano is a very heavily populated city, very densely compact city, and with the lockdown, you find that normally there's a lot of people dying every day in Kano. But with the lockdown, getting bodies to the mortuaries, piling up, and so on and so forth, people might have been scaremongering to think that that was all linked to corona. But actually, and obviously because they're Muslims and they bury their dead very quickly, they haven't done necessary autopsies. But medical people will tell you that if people that are dying are not connected, they're not like family groups, they're not relatives, they're spread out all over the city, it's unlikely that they're connected in any kind of pandemic. So when we make our observations, we should do so critically and not in an alarmist manner, and allow the experts to do their job. Because it's no good scaremongering fellow Nigerians into thinking things are worse than what they are. But having said that, my major concern for Nigeria now, we're going to go into it now, is that testing, we're not doing enough testing. So if we're not doing enough testing, we cannot know how extensively widespread the virus is. The alarming thing is that the numbers of people contracting the virus is increasing. So that is a problem, and I think that's what we should be talking about. How are we gonna cut down, with the lockdown? How are we gonna stop the spread? Because now people are going back to work. They're gonna have to wear masks. They're gonna have to wear protective clothing. This thing needs to stop. We can't afford to allow the virus to spread, because if people are complaining about hunger now, if the virus spreads, they'll be complaining about something completely different. It's, do you want your life, or do you want to concern yourself with hunger? Because if you're dead, you're not going to be hungry anyway. So it's important that we really make sure, as a nation, as a people, that everyone puts all hands on deck to make sure that, irrespective of the presidency, irrespective of what you think about the president, it's about uniting for the safety of every single Nigerian, whether you're from the southeast, whether you're from the southwest, whether you're from the north. When Corona comes and it's spread to every single state, it doesn't discriminate as to whether you're an Igbo man, or whether you're a man from Akwa Ibom, or whether you're from Kanu or Kanuri or Hausa or whatever. So we must make that very clear. This is the time to unite and tell people to do the right thing, social distancing, wear the protective clothing, and try not to spread this disease. Thank you. And that is exactly what I was saying.
I'm gonna keep Asu to give Ayo Gundimo some space at the moment, because we haven't heard from him for some time now. So Ayo, you are new on the program today. You haven't been here for about a week. So
No.
what do you think about what is happening around us generally regarding Mr. President's address to the nation?
Evening to you all. I have a major issue. I know you put out your what you stated about us saying, yes, we have a president, yes, he recorded, it's live and all of that. But in the end, the question now becomes, the president, is he effective? Is he really in control of the situation? Are the people confident in his governance? Is he being fair-minded in his deliberations? There's too many questions that one has to ask of this president to say, you know what, we have issues. Certainly, for me, I'm not so much interested in what Buhari has to say, because I mean, I have strong issues which I'm not going to state on the program, because that's what you said we shouldn't really go to, but I want to say something. If our president is not visible and not amongst the crowd, we have a vice president. Why is he not on the ground? Why is it that we are only hearing him saying things here and there? We just need to ask those questions. Why? And for me, I believe that the people need to be asking that question. Where is Oshibajo? Now, I'm not really interested myself, and my standpoint is now, I think we need to be looking at things in a much more different way in terms of where we're going. Our constitution is not working. We have the constitution on paper. Now, when you have a president that is spokesman, the so-called chief of staff has more credence and presence than the vice president, then that tells you what is wrong with our constitution. On paper, the constitution is perhaps one of the best written in, well, no, actually, no, let me take that back. It's on paper. There are things within the constitution that should be happening that is simply not happening in reality. So the constitution is one thing. It's a document that's written. So here you go. Here's a document. It's written. It's there. You can see it. But the action is as though they do, okay, you know what? Yeah, we're not interested in that. Thank you very much. Now, this is what we're going to do. And that is what we are faced with. And that is the problem. So for me, I don't think the question is not about Buhari. It's more now about Buhari is not among the crowd. He's not going into the communities. He's not going to allay fears. He's not being present. He's not having a regular look at Boris Johnson's deputy. If they say that Buhari cannot do something, if they say he's not well, the guy for UK, the foreign secretary, is standing in for Boris Johnson, and daily briefings. If Buhari cannot do it, surely, Osinbajo can, and is brainy enough to do it. So why is it that we are hearing from the presidency, i.e. being Garba Shehu, Femi Adesina, Lai Mohammed, and then we are hearing it might be Baba Gana Kingibe, I'm not too sure. We are hearing more from them. But the mandated deputy, vice president, the vice president of our nation, who should be the minute that Buhari cannot speak, he should be the man that's visible. He should be the man that's carrying the task, going into the communities, obviously respecting the distances, the social distancing and all the protocols around this COVID-19. He should be the face of the government, like Dominic Raab is. Dominic Raab is for the UK. I have severe doubts about what we have been told about the man that was in that press, whatever you call it. Whatever it's, so not you, I mean, not you personally. It's just I'm frustrated. Whatever that person is called. There are severe questions. And the fact that there is no daily briefing by someone democratically elected, the people who are speaking up, who are speaking at conferences, are all appointed. There is no one democratically elected in a public vote. That is the key thing here. If Buhari cannot do that, if that Buhari, whatever it is, cannot do that, then the vice president needs to step up. It needs to be put in there. And we need to know, why is he being silenced? Why is he not being allowed to speak? Dominic Raab is doing the job in the UK. I believe it is Dominic Raab. I think I need to check the name. I think it is. But you know the guy who the foreign minister for UK is doing that. So for me, our constitution, and this is the proof that that constitution and that nation is in severe danger. And in fact, I think the contraption is collapsed on itself, because the people who are in power now have got a total disregard for the constitution. They just tossed it. They've tossed it in the bin. They've just take it up and go, you know what? We don't think it's much, and you can't say anything. And the people haven't got a say. The people to whom they're supposed to be responsible, the sovereignty of the nation belongs to the citizens of that nation, not the leaders. The leaders are managing the nation on behalf of the citizens. And the minute that the leaders decide to toss the rights of the rights of the citizens, decides to disregard the rules laid down within that constitution, that means that we don't have a nation. We have something else. It might be a cabal. It's nothing like a democracy. It's nothing like a democracy. And that's the problem I have.
Mr. You understand the protocol. I like the way you understand the protocol. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm showing you a loan and you're giving a speech, as soon as I change the screen to the big one, it means I want you to round up. That is what we want. I will be voting the audience will be voting somebody out at 23:45. Who is that going to be? One of our guests is going to shape whether he's the one to be kicked out in about half an hour's time or whether he's the one who's going to stay. And someone else will be coming in to replace them. Every half an hour, we will be voting somebody out. Whoever is talking jargons, whoever is not pulling the crowd, whoever is not the brake fluid is running their car instead of the petrol or the diesel or the electric, will be voted out. So, Frank, your opening speech.
I can't hear.
Frank Bello, your opening speech.
He
Yes,
can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Okay, now we are coming back.
Oh, maybe it's delayed. If you can hear me now, can you wave your hand?
Yes,
Wave your hand at me.
yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Your opening speech, please, yeah?
Yes. Thank you very much, Pastor Ade. I think I've listened very passionately to Femi Oke. I've listened very passionately to Godson Azu, and at the same time, Ayo Gundimu. I've made some note. I took down some points. I think Mr. Oke is trying to indirectly brush aside Godson Azu for not listening to the president's speech yesterday. I think Godson's got his reasons, and he's got better reasons not to listen to the president. Let's put partisan politics apart. Mr. Oke perhaps does not know reasons why Godson Azu just refused to listen to the same garbage in, garbage out all the time, fooling the people. And as such, he thought, why am I wasting my time? We're only going to listen to the prepared broadcast. No opportunities for the citizens or journalists to question the supposed president that you said you've got, who married himself as Muhammadu Buhari. But then and again, we've got our individual opinions. I'm not going to question Godson Azu for not listening to the president. I, as an individual, I want to listen to whether he's Jubril, whether he's clone, or whether he's there to serve the people of the country. And I want to see exactly what they're doing wrong. I want to see the fraud they want to post and then show to the Nigerian people. See, the fraud was particularly what motivates me, or what motivated me into watching all those three nasty, useless broadcasts that your supposed president made public. Now, Mr. Oke said whether the president was cloned or not, I think he's just being on the defensive side as an APC man, just to buttress that person right inside Aso. I put up a challenge to the APC and the government in power to come clean, to tell us who exactly is in Aso. I will continue to rein in my own campaign, and not until when they tell us who is in Asorok, that campaign will not end. Your same chairman in your APC, Adams Oshiomhole, threatened your own party, Mr. Oke, that if he is removed as the chairman of the APC, he will tell Nigerians the impostor in Asorok. The same thing, Rochas Okorocha. How come we've got different faces of the same president? One younger face that's about 40-year-old, another old face of the same president. So we've got a situation whereby you alternate and you bring in whichever Muhammadu Buhari that you want to present to the people of Nigeria. No, I am not going to fall for that fraud and that trap, because the APC government, you lot are toiling with Nigerians, and it is not going to be on with me, because I want you to come clean. Now, COVID-19 is now exposing all your dirty linen outside. Why? Because your same supposed Muhammadu Buhari knew for a fact that the moment Lagos is locked down and Ogun State is locked down, Abuja is locked down, there is nowhere people can get access to the rest of the country, because people living in Lagos traveling to any other parts of that country will need to go through Ogun State before they can reach their final destination. It is a fraud. Locking down Lagos State and then leaving the north, you're punishing the southerners. You left the north open. All your mosque, you are the government in power, APC. All your mosque, all your northern people. Even the last time you said you buried Abakari in Abuja, let's hope it is Abakari, and maybe very soon you lot will tell us exactly that person you buried who's got that blood in the casket. You will tell Nigerians whether that blood was the blood of somebody who died of COVID-19. You said, yes, you want social distancing, but at that same burial, did they observe any social distancing? No. That tells you that that party called APC is a fraudulent party, and they all make up laws just to suit themselves and to please themselves anytime they want to do anything. Now, the issue of Kano State, that is another fraudulent nation. Whenever, see, the same COVID-19, your AD governor in Kano State, Ganduje, asking for 15 billion naira from the federal government to fight COVID-19. Just moment he gathered that the European Union, they've given money to Nigeria, $50 million to fight COVID-19. He wanted his own share. His number, APC governor, started going up in Kano State. What else? He inflated the numbers. And now that COVID-19, when they lot refused to observe social distancing, they thought COVID-19 was not real. COVID-19 is now hitting them hard. They're now dying in their hundreds. I gathered this morning, the same governor claiming that the number, they supposedly, the numbers who died, the 600 and something who died, was just in a week and not in 2 days. That is a lie. People are dying in their drones, and you are lying to the people. Why do they sack? Why? I'm asking, why do they sack the recent man that was forced to sign a different number of those dead who refused? Your government, the APC government, the fake Muhammadu Buhari you placed in Asorok, you are all fake. You are all deceiving Nigerians. Now, COVID-19 is striking you lot hard. What are you doing? Doctors are leaving Kano State in their drones. Kano lost 70% of its doctors because they were unable to cope and they don't want to face the same firing line of COVID-19. Now, guess what? Do you know how many registered doctors you have in Nigeria? Do you know the total number of doctors you have? I'll give you a clue. The total number of medical doctors you have is less than 42,000. Less than 42,000 in the whole of the country. Less than 42,000 medical doctors taking care and looking after 200 million people. Now, let's work with numbers. Let us work with sums here, because I like to buttress my argument with facts and not fiction. Now, let us be realistic with ourselves, and let us be honest with ourselves. Let's put the total number of medical doctors in Nigeria at 42,000. Over 200 million people. Let's spread those 42,000 medical doctors evenly in 36 states, plus the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Abuja. That makes it 37 states. 37. Now, what do we get? 42,000 medical doctors divided by 37. What do we get? That gives you an indication of the total number of doctors in each of those regions. We are looking at about 1,135 medical doctors. 70% of those doctors, they left Kano State because COVID-19 was killing people so fast. Do you expect medical doctors to face the firing line? Do you expect medical doctors to face all your almanjiris that all your politicians, how many years have those northerners, have they ruled Nigeria out of the 60 years? Perhaps just a little bit, closer to 50 years. What have they done? They've produced Almanjiri. Now all those Almanjiris, they've turned themselves into Boko Harams. Now we are beginning to see a situation that all the Almanjiris, because they could not observe the social distances, you kept on pumping money onto them. COVID-19 is now killing them. 70% of those doctors, they've left. Out of those medical doctors, 851 doctors left, remaining how many doctors to treat the population of Kano? 284. What is the population of Kano State itself? Kano is competing with Lagos. When things are pretty good, Kano will inflate their population. They claim their population is 3,931,300. So if we have 70% of those doctors who left that country, that means in that state, who left Kano State, how many of those doctors, 284 doctors, you expect 284 doctors under the APC to treat over 3 million people? I hand over to you at the studio.
That was very, very brilliant of you. I believe the poll has been created. It's asking A, B, C, D. A for Femi Oke, B for Golden Azu, C for Frank Bello, and D for Citizen AY. I believe people should know who these people are. Femi Oke is right in the middle, on top of the title. And the next one is in the white t-shirt is Golden Azu, which is B. The gentleman underneath me is Frank Bello, who is C. And the last gentleman in A, the one that's pointing at you now, is with the gold bear, yeah, the one giving us the smile now. Is D. So, yes, the audience will be the one voting people out. I won't be voting anybody out, because if I do, that would be big partiality. So, people, keep your vote coming in, and then we take it from there. Okay, everybody has said whatever they want to say. I'm going to go back to Golden Azu. He's a new man here. Unfortunately, you're the one we have to initiate. I don't know why. One thing I want to ask you, if people vote for Buhari in 2019, and we all know it's a clone Buhari, are they gullible to vote him in again? Golden Azu.
Thank you very much. Before I answer that question, I'd like to address a few points as raised by my diasporan colleague there, my friend, even though he tried to prove that he has known so much, the fact remains that he still got a lot to learn within the diasporan context and in the Nigerian political environment. He said something about me or him not sure, or he's certainly sure that I have not been in Nigeria. I don't live in Nigeria, or I don't go to Nigeria. I don't understand how Nigerian politics works. So how can I be in the diaspora and be determining what happens in Nigeria? But I would like to honestly let understand that for the past 10 years, every year, I've been to Nigeria twice a year. And I've been closely monitoring the political terrain, the political spin-offs in Nigeria in the last 20 years of this present democratic dispensation in Nigeria. So for your information, I am not a novice nor a newborn in terms of Nigerian politics. And I'd like to mention it here again. This Mr. Muhammad Buhari you're talking about, I was fortunate to run into whoever I may have seen that they regarded as Mr. Buhari last year, November, in Abuja at an event where I attended an event, and I looked at this person and I did a reflection of the Buhari I saw and met in 2011. In 2011, the counting, when he first came to this country to have a meeting at the House of Commons. Yeah. I was there live. I was present. That event was organized by Tunde Alabi in conjunction with Ben Television and his group. I was there. Correct. I know the Buhari.
Correct.
I saw him personally. Secondly, I will also remind you, if you go to YouTube, it's not a YouTube can never lie. I was one of those who led the greatest protest against Buhari in 2015 in Chatham House. I know the Buhari I saw there in 2015. Go and look at it. So you cannot tell me anything about this Buhari. And moreover, for your information, I've known Buhari from 1995-96 when he was PTF chairman while I was in Nigeria. So I can define you, Buhari, in person. And I can define you, Buhari, 20, 30 years ago, and Buhari of today. The differences. Just of last January at the UK African Investment Summit in London, I was there live. The Buhari they brought there was there. People were asking me, can you take photo with your president? Go anywhere and look, search for, you'll never see me a photo with Buhari anywhere. Taking a photo with him. Never. People were calling me, this is your president. My friends from Congo, my friends from Zimbabwe, my friends from Ghana were seeing me. They say, you're not taking photo. I said, I'd rather take a photo with the president of Kenya than take a president with who I don't understand. And I actually took a photo with Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya at that summit. Because we need to be real. We need to be honest to ourselves. There is something going on in that country that some of us are partially aware. Some of us are fully aware. Many of us are ignorant of what is going on, and we are playing under that spirit of ignorance. And in the eyes of the law, ignorance is not an excuse. You have to find out the truth. Seek the truth. Check the truth. And make sure you find the truth. And like I said, whoever is there, when Buhari came for the first treatment in this country, I was one of those who mentioned it clearly that Buhari has come for blood and water transfusion. Because the Buhari we saw when he became president in 2015 could not change, could not have changed overnight, in 2 months, to become a fatted cow. that looks younger than a 50-year-old man. I am not here to castrate Mr. President or whoever, but the fact is that we seek the truth. We seek the truth. And that truth, we continue to ask, and we continue to seek, and we continue to knock until it opens. And it will open so surprisingly and shockingly the way coronavirus has hit the world. The way it will hit Nigeria. It will hit them. And they will say, had we known? No, you shouldn't know. The only president who has ruled Nigeria without a serious cabal in the last 20 years of this present dispensation is Baba Obasanjo. Every other president subsequently has been ruled or has ruled with a set of cabal or backyard kitchen cabinet office. I am not here to protect or prevent anybody. Yaradua was a good man, but unfortunately, he had this so-called same Daura, another set of Daura king sets, cabals, who knew what was going on and wanted to cage Nigeria into a cocoon, a hole. But as God will have it, the will of the people prevailed and the truth came out. When Jonathan ruled, Mama Patient was running government from behind. Even the likes of Namandi Sambo, we have to go and see Patient in order to be able to get something from Jonathan. That is one of the true facts. We know that this happens in government. But then, Jonathan performed in his own capacity and did what it's made for him to do as a president, showing compassion to the people in every way he can and ensuring that the economy runs in a speedy and healthy function, irrespective of the monies that people are declaring missing. Some of it are politically missing money, not real money missing. These are controlled media, and that is why many people are afraid of the Western people in our country, the Yorubas, because the Yorubas have good journalists like you, Ayo, Femi Oke, that they can use to conjure some nasty stories and blow it trumpet of it.
Okay.
That is why the likes of Showure, sometimes I don't sympathize with him, because Showure was one of those instruments used from the West to trumpet Jonathan out of government, to trumpet Patient out of system. They used him and the rest of them in that Western media, including this one that is in the government now, that is working for Buhari. All of them are in different media houses.
They used him as well for Yaradua.
Let me finish. You see, the truth here is that we have a president that is functionless, the president that is inactive, president that is being roboted. They kickstart him like a beetle. You know, beetle in those days, when those who knew what was beetle, beetle, you start and then push it. You start and push it.
Okay,
that's the kind of president we have at the moment.
Azu, because you're not following the instruction. You're gonna get a yellow card for this one. When you come back to the state screen, it means you have to random. That's the first yellow card of the day for you. We're gonna turn it to a discussion now. Everybody has been able to sum up, so I'm gonna leave it on the state screen. My argument. Yeah, go ahead, Femi. Yeah.
Yeah, look, you've got three people here who are basically anti-Buharis, and I am the one that's standing in, most probably pro-Buharis. But nevertheless, what I would say is that, you can't have a situation where we're just going on and on and on about whether Buhari exists or he doesn't exist. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the same thing that Donald Trump was doing when he was claiming that Obama wasn't an American, that he was born in Kenya. These things are just ridiculous. We should focus on reality than all these kind of hocus pocus kind of discussion. I didn't say that Azu is not conversant with Nigeria. I know Azu very well from Ben TV. Maybe he doesn't remember me. And we've had discussions on Ben TV. I know him very well. I wasn't suggesting for 1 minute that he was aware of. what's going on in Nigeria. I was interested in what the president said because, for one, he doesn't even call Mr. President is a heavy weight in his mouth. He doesn't even recognize, it seems, our president as the president of Nigeria. And and the reason why, and I found that a lot, and this is a problem. I'm a person that has been advocating, for example, for a president from the southeast come 2023. But when they hear the likes of Azu and the many people from southeast, the main vocal people in the southeast, seems to be talking more about pro-Biafra kind of situation than pro-Nigeria, one Nigeria. It's going to be very difficult to have a situation where we see in 2023 an Igbo president.
No,
If we
no,
keep
no,
on
no, no,
talking,
no, no, no. It's not. No, no, Mr. Okay, Mr. Okay, Mr. Okay, Mr. Okay.
let me
It's not, Mr. Okay. It's
let me
not.
finish.
It's no, no,
Before you
no.
come,
Let him
let me
finish,
finish my
Frank. Yeah,
point.
you're gonna have your time
I
limit.
haven't, like I said, I personally believe in meritocracy. I'm not really into rotation or whatever. But with the Nigerian situation, you know that we've had self-rule since 1957. That is 63 years since 1967 that we've been ruling ourselves. And you know, within that 63 years, the North has ruled us for 46 and a half years. Okay, and the rest has been the South. It's very funny. And then you look at the Southeast, there have never been a Southeasterner as a civilian president of Nigeria. Ironsi was there for barely 6 months. Okay, so I'm saying that with that history, and the way that we've gone in our nation now, we had three regions. We had the northern region, eastern region, and the western region. So the Yorubas actually have been in governance for, let me tell you, I've got it here, for a total of 11 years, the Yorubas. The Northerners, 46 and a half years, including Gowon, who was a minority from the north. And then you've got 9 years. Then you've got, what's his name? Goodluck did 6 years, okay? Well, we've never had a president from a civilian president from the Southeast. With those kind of statements that Azu is saying, and a lot of people from the Southeast are saying, deriding anyone from the North as if they're a non-entity, they can't be a leader, they're this and that. People are not going to have confidence in trying to give them, and in fact, maybe they don't want to have the presidency. But I would think that for a united Nigeria, it's
Okay,
time to move the
Femi,
presidency to
it's time
the
to call
Southeast.
to the day there on that issue there. Okay, one thing I wanted to ask before we can the vote.
Oh, hello.
Hello, you want to say something?
So,
Okay, one thing I would like to say before we can vote is I still don't understand why we should call Buhari a clone, why we should call Buhari a fake. Because if it's a fake, why did we vote for him in 2019? Right?
can I answer? Can I
Why
answer
did
Can
we
that?
I
go
can
ahead?
I can I quickly say something here? Can I
Wait,
quickly say something
wait
here,
a minute,
please?
wait a minute, wait a minute,
Can I
wait a
quickly say
minute,
something here?
wait a minute, sir. Why, after the performance at the NTA televised, that they asked him something, he has to turn to Oshibajo every time for confirmation. Why did we vote for him? We vote, if we vote for a clone Buhari in 2019, well, he has to do us. That's our fault. Then we should keep our mouth shut
Ca-
about the clone
Can I
Buhari.
say
Ayo, go ahead,
can
yeah?
I just can I just say
Yeah.
one thing, just one thing,
Oh yeah,
yeah?
Ayo, let
And that
Femi
is
say what he wants.
that is the emphatic answer to your question.
Okay?
Nigeria did not vote for Buhari.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nigerians did not vote for Buhari in
Okay,
2019.
okay,
2019 is an orchestrated agenda of the cabal with the help of the Oba of Yoruba, the Jagaban of Yoruba land, supporting that conspiracy to keep Buhari in government. No single real vote was casted for Buhari. Buhari himself, if he's alive and if he's breathing today, if he has to be honest to Allah, the God of heaven, the day he swears to say they voted for him, maybe that's the day thunder will strike him if he's still alive.
okay.
Nobody in
um,
his real mind put Buhari
Let's go
in
to
government.
Citizen AY because we need to go
That is the
do
truth.
the honors now, yeah? Citizen AY, go ahead.
thank you. Azuz, my brother is right. We didn't have elections. Femi is my good friend. We've been friends a long time. And I know he's passionate about Nigeria. He's very passionate about Nigeria in quite, just as much as I am. Um, he, he, however, has a lot of very pro this government, and I'm kind of thinking I'm not sure if he really sees the full picture of what we can see. Now, I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying he sees things from a different point of view. Now, the overwhelming evidence on the ground, and it's a weighty. I'm talking weighty evidence. The Mahmoud, whatever I call his name, the INEC man is a yes man to APC. Even to have Buhari's relative in the INEC, and the whole election process into it. They moved the election on the 16th of February 2019. Let's not forget, by 1 week to try to rig this election. So what we are saying is this: there is conclusive
perfect their
evidence.
plans.
There is conclusive evidence that that was no election. That was a selection. Please, end of. However way you want to cut this, that was no election. It was a selection. The matter what I've said to us, you know what? We are not having any election this year. We are simply going to rubber stamp and put in Buhari because that's what happened. He was
Okay,
rubber
I'm
stamp.
gonna stop you there,
People
Citizen AY.
were
Citizen AY, I'm gonna stop you there. Thank you very much for that. Thank you everyone that's contributed to this. We're gonna look at the result of our poll. I don't know why everybody on this set is ganging up against me, okay? Because I think
nobody.
they actually got
See,
us against me.
Buhari here. What do you expect? All my followers are on the chat. I can see them.
Uh,
No, they're
You,
not.
all my
this is not
followers
balanced.
are on the chat.
You can't have a balanced discussion if you're just having anti-Buharist on your phone on your conversation. That can't make sense.
Okay, we will try and bring bring some, suggest some few people to me and I'll bring them on. Send some few people to me and I'll bring them on. All
Look,
right.
the thing,
Send 3 people to me and I'll bring them on and I'll bring one of these guys on.
you need balance. You need balance on a program like this. Look, the thing is, I don't have anything against their views, but what I always try to say to people is that if Buhari rigged the election or whatever, the elections were rigged during Yaradura's time, the elections were rigged during Obasanjo's time, they're no difference, to be quite frank. Let's move on. We can't be crying over spilt milk. We need to move on. So continuing fighting when the match has been settled, it can't be redone. We've got 2023 to look forward to. So crying over
Now,
spilt milk, I mean,
let's
it's a waste of time, to be honest with
Okay.
you.
Ayo, don't say anything, please. Yeah. Ayo, don't say anything for now. Yeah. Ayo, don't say anything. We're gonna go for these. Unfortunately, they've actually ganged up against Femi
I can see them.
in the studio.
They're all followers of Azu and Ayo and Bello. They've put everybody on there to say, let's get him out. Let's get him out. I'm watching.
Okay.
I'm watching them. You
They
can have your
gang up.
discussion with yourself if that's what you
So
want.
we're gonna have to
But it's
expel
only
Femi
balance.
from the set. Femi, you are the weakest link. Bye bye.
No
See you
problem.
next time. Bye.
I'll come to the other side. So,
It's no problem. It's no problem. You want to have a balanced program, you need to have alternative.
I should laugh. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
guys.
Listen, Femi,
I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know why you have to do that. I don't know why you have to gang up against this man. I don't see anything is
no,
done wrong. He's only expressing his opinion. And if all your people online are a group of gangsters that like to gang up against people, I think they need to change that soon. Because it would have been better if Femi is here and it's not
yeah,
all of you facing one direction. But that's not a problem. That's the people's choice. That's
yeah.
what people says in the studio, and this is what people says online as well. I'm just not comfortable ejecting Femi at all because he is the one that has a different opinion. So I'm going to bring someone else in shortly. I was expecting somebody's number, but you haven't sent me the number yet. So if you don't send me your number in the next few minutes, I'm going to have to get somebody else to replace you because you haven't sent me your number. So I might be getting somebody else to replace you shortly. I'm going to give you till when the time says 23:54. Now the time is 23:52 at my end there. If you want to join, you need to send me your number, and then when it's 12:45, we're gonna kick another person out. So maybe that will put fun in the house, and then we can have a balanced discussion. Okay, Golden Azu and Frank Bello. Why on heart? If you guys said they didn't vote for Buhari, if 80% of the people in Nigeria voted against Buhari, can they rig that much? Can they rig 30%? Frank Bello, maybe I should come to you first because I don't understand how on heart they could have rigged it so much. Frank.
Make no mistakes. The whole of that 2019 general election was mad with fraud. It was fraud. Now, let's take the report from the African Union first. The African Union described that election as the worst election ever conducted in the African continent. The European monitoring team as well equally confirmed the irregularities and the fraud
in the election.
No. It was whilst the European Union monitoring team were in Nigeria, don't forget Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai, that short man, threatened to return those the European monitoring team back to their countries in body bags. Yeah. And who wants to go into Nigeria to just monitor the common election and then only for their bodies to be repatriated back to their countries in body bags?
Just blow him out, because if that happens, Nigeria will have gotten into serious problem.
Now, let us recap exactly the atrocities that was perpetrated by Jaga Bandit in Lagos. Have you forgotten the 2 billion vans that turned up at Bodilon in Ikoyi? Have you forgotten all those Omotas, the Agberos, the Oluomos, threatening that they will make other people's lives hell? What about ballot box snatching? What about those rogues who fingerprinted already ballot papers? What about INEC themselves manipulating election results? Look at INEC telling the whole world they were prepared for the elections. Results will be transmitted electronically to their server. And why do they claim they don't have servers? Wow. That was the biggest fraud ever, the biggest electoral fraud ever perpetrated on the good people of Nigeria, because Nigerians who genuinely want to vote the party of their choice were not simply allowed because the APC were bent on rigging that election through many avenues that they felt it was possible to rig the election. But then and again, do we really blame the APC for rigging that election in 2019? Baba Obasanjo said it himself. He laid the foundations for others to copy and then perfect in their acts few years down the line after he, as a matter of fact, went into the 2003 election, to which we all knew exactly what happened. The places Obasanjo was unable to gain in 1999, then fraud came in. Obasanjo took over Ekiti State, knowing fully well that he wanted at least to break in. Bola Ahmed Tinubu put his foot down to stop Obasanjo claiming and holding Lagos. Otherwise, Obasanjo wanted Lagos by all means. Obasanjo told the whole Nigerians, told the whole world, that even if Jesus Christ come down from heaven, he will be unable to conduct a free and fair elections in Nigeria. Now, exactly what happened in 2003 was what they perfected well to precision in 2019, and many of those elections in 2015, in 2011, in 2007, it was perfected because the foundation to which all our electoral processes were all based, were all fraudulent. People are not just simply allowed to elect the government of their choice. That's just the case. Nigerians are not, they were not in a better position to say this is the government that we want. And then besides, what about poverty? They deliberately plunged Nigerians into poverty so that when they are hungry, the moment election comes 4 years after, that 3,000, 4,000, they'll be lucky to get a 5,000 will mean a lot. They sell their conscience, they sell their vote. Godson Azu, thank God, is here tonight. We've argued out many times before social media came into being on Ben TV, begging Nigerians to utilize the power of their thumb. Even if they want to use that power of the thumb, what happened? Those Jaga bandits, those fraudsters who maroon themselves as politicians will truncate their efforts. If Nigerians were not starved, if Nigerians were provided the right dividends of democracy in their country, I tell you what, Nigerians will make up their mind and then vote the right government out. And the moment they know that you are a rubbish government, they vote you out. But that is not the case. What about the issue of godfatherism? Those are the things killing our political system. Look, I was privileged. I met one of those politicians, a woman who was one of the members of the first House of Reps. Okay, I'll round up. I think I'll hand over to you in the studio and then maybe I'll take it back again. Over to you.
That, yeah? Let's go to Ayo. But before we put Ayo on, I'm going to do something quickly so that we know exactly where we're coming from and where we're going to. Ayo, you are the constitutional expert, and so many people have said it and over and over and over again that this is why something is not working. So we want to see whether that is true or that is false. We want to work things out in a fashionable way. 1 second. Ayo.
Yes.
Somebody said this thing is not working. This relationship, this partnership is not working, and they need to dismantle it. Do you agree to that?
I agree. In what? Yeah. Put it simply, I agree. It's not working. It is a contraption. It is designed.
Sure you're saying this because you've got some lesson from Showore and all the other people from
No. No way. No. This is my own. I'm speaking as my own self. I'm my own man.
There's nobody there saying something to you behind you.
What I'm saying is based on the effects of this failed governance on the people on ground. In all areas of the nation, people are unhappy with this governance, but particularly in the
Let me
South.
give you this to support you. Let me give you this video to support you. Let's watch this video.
That this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list? In this chamber, we try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. Every crime is local. And the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria summon the courage to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves.
Okay, we're going back to that one now. So, is that where you get your inspiration from? Ayo Godin?
No. But before I even saw that clip,
Have you seen the clip before?
Sorry?
Have you seen the clip before?
Yeah, I've seen the clip before, but even before then, I knew that something was not right with the Nigerian constitution, and it wasn't even about the constitution. The constitution was flawed, but on top of that, there was this unwillingness. I always say, you people have heard me talk about this. The North have this idea. They call it. It's called takia. So whatever agreement they enter with you as a Southerner, it's only a ploy. The minute the ink dries on what you sign, any agreement you sign, they believe that they've actually won you, they've won over you. And they will simply ignore that agreement and then impose themselves on you. That is how they do things. That is their mentality. It's that the Islamic mentality, that Uthman Dan Fodio idea that they must dominate and conquer the South. And that reason, we in the South, we believe, if we see the letter of the Constitution, we follow it, surely we should all come together. But no. The Constitution is written to suppress and oppress the South. The Constitution is not written for the North. The North believe that they are above the Nigerian Constitution. That is why they put in the Constitution specific area whereby Sharia law can be imposed anywhere in the whole of the nation. But you cannot see a traditional Oba of a Yoruba man or an Igbo person go to the North and say, I'm going to try and create something like that. They will kill him. This is why I'm saying it can't work. That's just one area. I mean, there's a lot more areas I can go into. And the unwillingness. Just look at the security chiefs. In the Constitution, it states that you have to have a cross-section of people from all areas in your governance. If you look at our governance, as we speak right now, it is heavily dominated by the North. So there is no proper reflection or thereby an understanding of what people in individual areas in the South are going through. Because the nation is seen through the eyes of one section alone. And when you see the nation through the eyes of one section alone, you are going to be blinded to many atrocities, or deliberately ensuring that those atrocities don't come out, because those security chiefs now the so-called Nigerian government is actually there to oppress the citizens that they promised to serve. Because if you're not allowing people to reflect, to have to play a role in governance, so that we can have proper governance that's accountable to the citizens and open to scrutiny, then what do we have? What do we have? We have bad. So for me, the writing is on the wall. Nigeria, the project Nigeria is done. I am for Oduduwa Republic. I don't say that lightly. I do not say that lightly. I say it in the face of the evidence, overwhelming evidence.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question. Ayo. We people, you guys have been talking about Oduduwa Republic for some time now. What are the steps
Yes.
that you've taken, like the Biafrans?
Well,
Golden Aziz,
Don't no, I don't think it is. Sorry, I don't think it is
It's appropriate
appropriate
to say it.
for Oduduwa Republic to.
Okay, if you said that.
Can I just quickly come in?
Okay, come in. Yeah, come in.
Yeah, I don't really think it is appropriate that the Oduduwa Republic should let out their plans online in this forum. I know for a fact that there are preparations, and preparations are ongoing, and I don't really think, to be honest with you, just like the Biafrans are equally preparing themselves, so equally Oduduwa Republic is preparing itself as well. So I think we should just leave that and let each and every region continue to fight for their own individual region. I don't know if Ayo wants to chip in to that, because I'm an Oduduwa man, and I want to see Oduduwa. I want to see Oduduwa Republic realized. I'm not going to. I don't believe in that contraption.
Quickly, Golden, Mr. Azo.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Are you still awake?
I'm here. I'm watching. I'm listening to my friends. I'm listening to my good friends there.
Now they are your friends now.
They're always my friends. They're always my
I hope
friends.
one of them are not going to gang up against you in the next half an hour, 45 minutes.
No,
call you their friends, but Nigerians know what Nigerians are. They're gonna gang up against. I'm sure you're gonna do tactical voting now. Is that voting? Is that what you're gonna do? Tactical voting in about half an hour's time. Okay. The Biafran. Are you a Biafran, Gordon?
You say what?
Are you a Biafran?
I'm an Igbo man by birth, and I'm an Igbo by identity.
Okay.
Biafra is a nationalistic agenda. Igbo is a race. An Igbo man is a race.
Okay.
And that is who I am, an Igbo man.
So you would prefer to see an Igbo republic rather than Biafran republic?
Well, I would rather have a Biafran by the Igbo people agenda,
yeah,
rather than a Biafra by the few.
You would rather have. Say that again.
I repeat it. I would rather have a Biafran nation by the majority and collective will of the Igbo race than a Biafran by the few.
Okay. Can I ask you one question then? Yeah. I might have to change course a little bit. Did you watch Nnamdi Kanu address today?
Like I said before, there are people I don't really take time to listen to their broadcast.
Yeah.
You see, there is something about fighting for nationalism, and there is something like fighting for a loose nationalism. I believe in fighting for a cause in which there is a holistic
Agenda.
confluation of mindset of the nationals looking forward to that breakup rather than a few preaching an unattainable agenda and cascading the road to that national freedom. It is a right of every nation on the earth to fight for their national self-sovereignty, for their national determination. It is the right of every nation, according to the United Nations what do you call it? Trying to remember the United Nations document, constitution, binding constitution, the Treaty of the the United Nations. It gives every nation that collectively agree that they are not in tandem with the nation state. You know, when in politics, that's what we call nation state. When you say a nation, it means a particular nation that sees themselves as a one single nation. When you say a nation state, it means like places like the United Kingdom. You come to the United Kingdom here, that is a nation state because you have about 4 different nations coming up to form the United Kingdom. You go to United States of America, you got almost 20, 30 nations that are ready to disengage from the that nation of United States of America. One of them being the state of California, the state of Texas. They're all looking for in time in the future to get out of the relationship. But coming to this issue we are talking about, I believe that the greatest problem Nigeria as a nation state is facing today is the problem of institutions. It's the problem of structural arrangement. It's the problem of human mental condition. We have these 3 problems, and if as a people we are not able to change the dynamics of these 3 key elements, if we go to Dutua, we still have the same problem we're having here.
Yep.
If we go to Biafra, we still have the same problem we're having here. If you go to Ariwa, they will have the same problem. Why? Because if you do not understand the principles of institutionalization, if you do not understand the principles of structural management, if you do not understand the principles of human mental arrangement, the sense of belonging as a human, we will continue having this problem of I am from Ogun, Egba, I am from Ife, Oyo, I am from Owo, Ondo. Why should Egba man be the one ruling Oduduwa state all the time? You go to Biafra, you will have the same structural problem. Somebody from Imo will say that I'm an Owerri man, and we are the beginning, we are the source of Igbo race. Somebody from Uli in Anambra State will tell you that the Igbo race foundation, the soil of Igbo race is in Uli. Anyone that wants to become the head of Biafra must come to Uli and get his blessings.
I really thank you for that.
So,
yeah? I really thank you. I'm gonna put you on hold there, yeah. I'm enjoying this conversation because you are giving me what I want to know. You're telling me exactly how I feel. I think me and you, maybe because we look alike. You're from Igbo, I'm from Yoruba, but we do look alike, don't you see, guys? The only thing
I will ask your mother where you went last time we saw. I saw my dad missing.
Okay. The reason being that I've been saying the same thing to my Yoruba people. I said, if you said you don't want to be part of Nigeria again, some few years down the line, somebody will say, oh, We don't want to be part of Oduduwa anymore. We want Ogun. And then, are you telling me in 200 years' time, it won't get to that stage when every house in Nigeria will not become a country? Because nobody wants to do with anything. And there's no too much enmity within us. We don't like each other. We hate each other with passion. We don't want to do with each other. We don't want someone to be your boss. You don't want someone to be ahead of you. This is the problem with us black people sometimes that I'm worried about. Even if they manage to break away and break Nigeria into three, maybe I'm gonna give this to Fatah Okrubido. Did you hear what this gentleman said from the beginning to the end? Fatah?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. My brother,
Good evening.
Watson, nice to see you once again.
Thank you.
Mr.
Fatah, are you a PDP man as well? Because if you're PDP,
Ah,
he's just gonna kick you out now straight away.
No, he doesn't
God,
belong to any party.
God
Doesn't belong to any
forbid,
party.
God forbid, I don't belong to any party, and God knows that. And I swear by God's name, I can't. Even as I'm speaking to you tonight, I cannot beat my chest that I know anybody in PDP.
What
So
else
all
can
I
say?
follow is events as it's playing, and then I draw my own conclusion from what is playing, compare it to what has been obtained in the past. And as a journalist, I've been able to understand what's happening politically in Nigeria. And before I came to this country, for over 8 years, a journalist with the Punch newspapers. And you know what Punch stands for? It's just objectivity. And that's why I draw my conclusion mostly objectively. And not because I support anybody, mainly objective in whatever assessment I'm given. So, good evening, my brother, Mr. Godson, and Uncle Ayo. Nice to see you again, AY of the world. And Frank, my buddy, thank you very much for nice job you are doing tonight. And Big Boss, good evening to you. I've listened since the program started, and I'm quite happy that we got very good package tonight, and the responses have been very, very, outstanding. Blessings to everybody that has contributed tonight, and we really appreciate you. We all have passion for Nigeria, but well, what can I say? Those who are leading us, they failed us, and there is no way Nigeria can hold further, especially from this point. Now, let me come back to the question that is being asked. And if I may start from the beginning, Nigeria has never been a genuine nation. Those who actually made up the nation made it up not because they want any African nation or any black nation to succeed. They made it up because of vision, understanding what Africa stands for as a land of all sorts of sweetness, honey, sugar, platinum, oil, everything. And that is why it was modeled to serve most of the big nations. So when the amalgamation was actually being put together, and they saw the level which the Southerners operated and the way they were has been so enlightened, being so visionary, and they being those that actually fought for the freedom, they saw that if they don't actually clip those Southerners in the wing, the future may not actually hold for the big world. And that's the reason why when Western region was able to have the first television in the entire Africa, even before France, Yoruba nation had television before France. And that goes to show the level that Western region was prior to 1960. And after 1960, running through the time, we know what Western region stood for in Nigeria. Well developed, even in line with China and Malaysia and other nations that are boasting of greatness today. So when I was actually working for Punch, we were so prone to understand what was playing within the government then, because we were then told about how a group of people they were called the mafias. Sometimes Kaduna Mafia, sometimes the Castina Mafia. So the same scenario that was playing during the military era is the same scenario that is playing up till today. What is happening was they were trying to change the dynamics. So when Obasanjo, let me start from what really brought Obasanjo to that governance. Every event that has brought Southerners to rule Nigeria has been the events that are actually saddled with problems, and then the Nigeria running into a dilemma, and all sort of people being pushed on the wall, and reactions were about to come. And then all of a sudden, the Kebab think, okay, let us just pretend that they are in charge. And so, in 1993, when the issue of Abiola came, we know what played until 1999. Nigeria was on the edge, almost going into war. And we knew then
Yeah.
that the road that led to Aso Rock was laced with broken bottles. Whoever has the chance to enter then knew he was entering a very dangerous zone. And when they realized that time had come now to pacify the Yorubas because of Abiola's death and the humiliation of the Yorubas, the Western region, the humiliation, the privation, and the poverty that is being deliberately put on them, they just realized they don't just use Obasanjo as, as a pretensive ruler. But because the old glory of Obasanjo was given, and the old glory of Yoruba race was given to Obasanjo, because he was a member of the Kabbalah that was ruling
Okay,
Nigeria,
Mr.
they drew
Fatai.
him, they drew him closer because they knew
Mr.
that
Fatai,
as a Yoruba man, yes.
I have to stop you there. Every time I flick
Okay,
it away from you alone and flick it to the six of us, to the five of us,
okay,
you need to know that you
okay,
need to round up. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I'm
okay,
going to go back to Goldenazo because it's just step on my toes now, and I need to clear some few things out of my chest. Yeah, even though I said we look alike, but we disagree in a big time. Unamdi Kanu gave an address today, the way you normally do, and say it loud. He liked to say it loud, and up to now, on his page, 483,000 people watched it. Does that speak volume? What do you think? Let's give it to Frank before we go back to Goldenazo. Remember, in about 22 minutes time, we're gonna vote someone else out. 22 minutes time, we're gonna vote someone else out.
Is that for me or Godson?
This is for you
Can I
guys
can
now.
I quickly answer that? Can I quickly answer that? Can I
Wow,
quickly
let's say
answer
it,
that?
and then we're
So
gonna
so
vote you out.
you can my brother
Go ahead,
take it up from there.
go there.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You see, it's quite fortunate that Nnamdi Kanu has been given this great platform which he has right now to propagate the cause of actualizing the dream and the spirit of a Biafran nation. And I want to make it very clear here. Many of us who believe that there is need for separation of Nigeria as a nation and believe in the identity of the Biafran nation as created by Odumegwu Ojukwu, the Ikemba of Nnewi, late. May his soul rest in peace. What we are seeing now, in as much as it is a cause and the multitude of people that are hearing, remember, it is not all that followed Jesus at the mountain where he was preaching that believed him and walked with him. We have to understand that the agitation of nationalism, in as much as we follow diplomacy, in as much as we follow dialogue, requires a lot of impetus and strong structure and institutional engagement. This has not been the case with these present agitations. Know very well that Nnamdi is leading a group that calls themselves IPOB, agitating the cause of Biafra. Remember that there is another group that is also called Mossad, agitating the same cause on a different direction. Remember, there is another splitted IPOB. When you have these splinter organizations chasing a common goal without a common ground, it looks like a caricature, and that is why the northern cabals see it as a joke. They see it as people playing chess. They use us to play chess. And when Fetai was talking about the Mafians, I want to correct him. We used to have what we call the Kaduna Mafian and the Langtang Mafian. The Kaduna and the Langtang Mafians, not Katsina. Katsina are yesterday boys. They are yesterday boys. Kaduna Langtang Mafians. They will be playing chess with the splinter groups of Biafran organizations fighting for Biafra, knowing very well that they will fall on their own swords. They will be used to fall on their own swords, which has always been the case from the beginning, because we have refused to learn from history and adjust and amend. We know the failures of Nnamdi Azikiwe. We know the untimely failure of Ojukwu. And he advised that whoever is going to fight the cause of the Biafra must bring the whole Igbo identity and the whole Igbo race together to believe in that cause and work together. So also goes to the Oduduwa group. If they continue with this splinter Oduduwa people, Afenifere people, OPC people, without a common ground to agitate and fight this cause with a comprehensive and constructive institutions and structure that would shake the entire fate of the Northerners to say, this is serious. This is no more a joke. We are no more playing chess. We are real playing the game with these people. Until we get there, we are going nowhere. We just be doing the social media agenda. Go and ask the people that fought for the determination of Kosovo, the lives that were lost to attain the nations of Kosovo. How, at the end, even the Serbians and the origin Kosovians fought themselves in order to know who will rule Kosovo as a state. People should go and look at what happened in Yugoslavia. Ask questions of countries that have split and how they were able to manage ethnic cohesion among themselves to stay and stand and survive. It's not about shouting Biafra. It's about the sustainable of the structure and institution that will bring people. We may be Igbos, but we have different dialects. Our dialects in the human nature separates us from ourselves. There are places in Anambra State that you cannot even go to marry a girl from Imo State. If you don't know, go and ask. If you don't know, go and ask. There are places in Imo State you cannot go from that village to go and marry somebody in Ebonyi State. Go and ask. But then, we are talking about Nigeria, where already some people are taking, as at 1980 to 1990, you hardly see any Igbo man that goes to marry in the north or marry a Yoruba person. The day he brings his wife to the village, that's the day his wife will never return to their family. In some places in the north or in the southeast. But that chinix was broken. And now you want to create
the Yoruba
another
people marry from anywhere. They don't care. Yoruba will marry Igbo, they will marry Hausa, they will marry anywhere.
Yeah. Yoruba marries anywhere, they marry everywhere, yeah. But I am telling you the reality of things.
Yeah.
I am telling you the reality of things. You get me? So we need to walk around that and make a case on it before we know what we are fighting for.
that makes sense because we need to know what we're fighting for, which is a very, very important case. We need to know where. Frank, where did you marry from? Did you marry an Igbo person?
My wife is an Edo woman.
And where are you from? You're not from
Akure.
Abeokuta. Akure. What's the
I'm
difference?
an, I'm from I'm from Akure, man.
Okay, what's the
I'm
difference
an
between Akure
Ekuman.
and Edo and Abeokuta? We're all one.
There's a clear distinction.
Okay, you started again. River Niger
There's
is
a
not
clear
flowing. It's
distinction.
flowing into the two. Okay, um, I'm 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 lost for word because Frank Gordinazo has given me a big touch in my heart. He has put a very big heavy load in my heart that I need to start considering, and I want everybody on the platform to start considering as well. Guys, you need to do something for me. You need to share. You need to invite people to like the page. You need to do it more so that we can get this figure up a little bit more. The figure is still down. Uh, uh, uh,
Good.
what's my yeah, I wanted to call you. I don't know what to call you now. I'm just worried about calling your name. Okay, Citizen AY, you need to get your people on board
Yes.
so that we can have more opinion. I need to get more opinion on this case now. Biafra, Arewa, and Yoruba. Which one wants to go and which one wants to stay? Uh, I'm sure the guy in the middle, right in the middle, wants to talk about that. Um, and the people at home are saying,
Is
let's
that
give
for
it to
me?
no, let's give it to Fatai because I know they're not gonna vote you out. So I want to drive opinion out of Fatai, Goldinazu, Faith because I know they're gonna kick one of them out. The way things are going online now. Okay, respect your husband to respect himself and I think this platform is becoming fun. We can stay here all day long, half an hour kicking people's ass. Oh, let's give it to Fatai. Fatai.
Please let me have the question again.
Okay. Arewa, Odudua, Biafran. Which one is wants to go and which one wants to tie the three together? And why?
I think we have a basic problem in Nigeria, especially in the southern part of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And that basic problem, which I want my brother to understand today, and that is Mr. Gossin, is the ploy by the powers that be. That is the cabal that are actually ruling our destiny in Nigeria. And that fact is that we are being manipulated in these divide and conquer tactics, which actually gives the low in class, those that are actually the real bad guys in the south, being empowered by the powers that be financially and being given such power to have a say over their own people. And they do this in pretext as if truly Southerners are partakers of the governance, which actually is not. So when today we are talking about Nigeria, it is a fake contraption simply because the real people are behind the scene, and those who are governing us, they fidget every day because they know if the real people has to, I mean, if they have to talk, definitely the citizens are going to listen. So this is the reason why they give power to all these weak people, and when they give them money, people around them they want to have a share of the money. That is why we have the divide and conquer. So when they pull around those that are weak links within your own community, within your own region, and they empower them. So definitely, that is the reason why we are looking today in Yoruba land as if there is no, as if there is no unity. There is unity. All we have are traitors and betrayers. The same thing is happening in Igbo land. They said, I mean, united we stand and divided we fall. If we all have the same goal of getting ourselves out of this contraption, and we can at least we can have more than 5, 6, 7 agitating organizations. But the prime goal, the real ultimate goal, is to be united, to have your own autonomy or your own freedom, saving, I mean, being saved from the enslavement. So this is the main thing. So both the Biafra and Oduduwas, they want to get out of this, and they really mean it, and they are planning towards it, which I know. The only problem we are having is those who are in government are using their, the federal might to suppress the will and the dreams of these people. We've had more than enough in southern Nigeria. Yesterday I was making reference to a video that was done by a reporter in America, in which he was giving accolades to Nigerians that live in America as the most well-educated. Who are those Nigerians? These are Nigerians from the southern part of Nigeria, of the country. Talk about football, talk about sports, talk about economy, talk about law, every aspect of life. Today, what we have is northern Nigeria, not real Nigeria. South Nigeria is enslavement. We are in proper enslavement, and we cannot get out until there's unity. So that unity will make us to stand as one, so that the entire world will not listen to us. And I can now actually subscribe to what Gossin was saying earlier on, that in agitation of freedom, there are so many things that are involved. You must be able to coordinate yourself well. You have to lobby. You have to make sure that you have the right people that are going to be having the baton of this change, if the change has to take place. It's right. We have to be united, and we must meet and draw out our plan for the purpose which we are trying to pursue. So I really give that to Uncle Gossin, because definitely you cannot be away from the people and agitating that you want a republic or either Biafra nation or anything, only to have some people who are just running after you. But when there is no connection with other people who matter within the region, you won't be taken seriously, which I think Kano is having. So I know that where problems comes to Oduduwa land, we know how to get united, and we cannot stay here and let out what strategies we are having in order to have our nation, because by God's grace it is going to happen. Whether we agitate for it now, make those people to listen to us through being forcefully making them to understand our agitation, or we wait until when we are going to run over us, because right now they are planning to run over us in the southwest. That's why they are making sure they weaken us to the last marrow, so that even the last person in Yoruba land can't even have the strength to fight back when they are going to come, and they are going to come. So why can't we start our agitation now, so the whole world can know that we're having a problem? I can assure you progress are being made. Right now, the Yoruba plight is being recognized by the United Nations. Right now, we are being put among those nations that are being deprived. The news came yesterday. So things are happening. I can let this out because it's not hidden. The whole world has to be listening to us now as a people that have been deprived for a very long time, as a people that are actually being destroyed right from the federal. In Nigeria today, in southern Nigeria today, you can't even make up anything in your own region without having authority from the federal. That is the entire destiny of South Nigeria is buried under the carpet in Aso Rock, or in the desert of the northern nation. The North know what they are doing. Since this government took off, I can assure you, nothing has been spent on the Nigerian nation. The money people are spending in southern Nigeria are the money given to the civil servants every month, and those that we send from here as diasporans to our family. Every other money that Nigeria is making, all the so-called money they are asking for security, all the other money they are getting that should be going for contract, that contractors should be having, that should be standing towards building all sorts of things, they are being manipulated and being looted out of the nation, because those rulers, they don't even believe in Nigeria. They know what they are doing. And they have support in the EU. These are people, they go to bribe them, so that when we are complaining, they won't listen to us. So our destiny is in our hands. Both Biafra nation and Oduduwa nation, we are ready to let the entire world know our plight. And the only thing we are doing now is Time is ticking. Any moment from now, there can be crisis, and if we don't start to voice ourselves out to the entire world now, by the time the runover is going to come to the south, it might be too late. People may not understand what have been passing through in the past before the eventual runover is taking place. So we have to actually put all resources together now, most especially human resources. Those we know who can actually view for us, who can voice out like we are doing now. This is stepping forward. The entire world are watching us now. They know that at least, even those who don't know, they are now knowing that Nigeria is a serious problem, and southern Nigeria is we are in an we are been trapped.
You're gonna get
We are in an entrapment.
This is your first yellow
Okay,
card.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
We are in an entrapment.
If you get another yellow card, you're gonna go out straight away. Yeah. So
Okay.
another yellow card, you're gonna go out straight away. Okay, time to vote.
So what's the point
guys.
about that? Okay.
Vote now, guys. Time to vote now, guys. I'm just gonna see the votes. Okay, Golden Azu, you're the weakest link. Can you give us your summing word, please? If you like, you can curse everybody on the platform for voting you out. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's my great pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm happy to join you guys in this show. I hope to be there next time. If I just want to correct my very good friend Fatai, I've been on this whole thing for a long time. With due respect to all the Odua people, I still say that my greatest feeling, my greatest challenge is about the structural and institutionalization of the agenda that is being agitated for by the Odua. And for history's sake, people should realize it. The Odua from the time of Awolowo has always been the greatest problem of the unity of Nigeria. He played a very cynical game with Gowon to deprive the Igbos the energy and the phantoms they need after the Civil War. In 1979, Nnamdi Azikiwe turned against him. Basically, in reality, probably if things would have gone the right way, Awolowo would have been the president in 1999. But because of the game strategy that Azikiwe played, that was lost. 2 against. And
1979.
Hello? 1979.
Not 1999.
No, 1979. I said 1979. 1979. Shagari's era. Yeah. The Shagari's election. You understand? Yeah. So I am saying that the moment the Yoruba kingdom will come.
The misconception that Gossin has been having has to do with the fact that he's turning his eyes away from this so-called divide and rule that
he's not here. We're not going to talk about him because he's not here. He won't have the chance to defend himself. So we're going to get someone to replace him shortly. And I have 2 waiting. So I'm going to pick one now. This is coming from America. So, and then I will leave it with Velo to continue for now. Say something to us.
Right. Do you want me to you see I've changed my camera around.
Okay, now I prefer this one.
You prefer this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think I want to take on the issue. You said you don't want me to talk on where I got some leftover. Do you want me to analyze that, or because I've got so many issues penned down here?
I want you to talk about can Yoruba themselves, if they get Oduduwa Nation today, can they run it properly?
Yes, definitely. Let us not forget one issue here, that the Yoruba race are one of the most sophisticated race on the planet. Oh, yes. I have to tell Yoruba race are one of the most sophisticated race on this planet. take it or you don't. Now, the reason why I am saying this is because when problem is ignited, the Yoruba tribe will put their tribe to one side, because one thing I repeat that unify the Yoruba tribe as a race is that language. Now, I know, and I learned this as well, and I think I've made reference to this time after time, that there are two things that can unite a nation. For a nation to be united, as a publisher and as someone who's been through the rudiments of being trained as a publisher, your language is number one. Your language will unite you as a nation because you speak the same language. And when the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo said there is no, Nigeria was a fraud and that there is no nation called Nigeria, and that
this gentleman that just come in, yeah. Big man, can you do your phone landscape for me, please? Turn it sideways, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sideways, yeah. Just don't worry, just turn it. It will adjust, yeah. And if it doesn't adjust, I will do it myself.
Yeah, can I carry on?
Continue, yeah. Continue, yeah.
Yeah, and that you don't have the same Nigerians the way you will have English, French, German, Spanish, because those people speak the same language. So Nigeria was a fraud. So by us speaking the same language, right all the way from Lagos to perhaps Jeba in Ilorin, you hear the same language. This has been tried and tested by me, gentlemen and viewers at home and from wherever you are watching this live stream. I traveled all the way from the farthest part in Lagos to the north at the border of the River Niger. At each and every point that I stopped on my way, I was able to communicate in my language, Yoruba, despite the fact that there are different dialects from Lagos to Ibadan to Ogbomoso to Oshogbo to Ile-Ife to all those. You are rest assured that if I get into anywhere within that boundary under the River Niger, I can easily communicate. Getting to Jeba, I communicated with people successfully in canteens, in restaurants. I'll hand over to you in the studio because I don't want to get a red card. So I'll buttress this time after time.
Let's get this gentleman to introduce himself. Sir, could you introduce yourself to us, please?
Yes, my name is Frank Henry Emeka.
Okay, thanks for joining.
Yeah, I live in Canada. Yeah, I live in Canada.
Oh, welcome, Frank Henry.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Bello. Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, I know him.
Are you sure that's not going to be dangerous if you know him?
No, it's not going to be dangerous. It won't.
They like to vote tactically on this show. You know how it runs. Yeah. When I show the C screen, it means whoever is talking needs to sum up. And when I show individual screen, you can keep talking. And if you don't stop talking when I show the C screen, it means you're gonna get a yellow card. So many yellow card means you're gonna go out straight away without any repercussion. Thank you for joining us on this program. This is where we analyze, dissect, inspect, examine, and even grill, and do some few bit of blacksmith and bootsmith on Nigeria and African politics in general. So, Mr. Henry, who are you?
Yes.
Tell me your affiliation. Biafra or Libra?
Well, I would say I'm liberal, and at the same time, I'm a Biafran.
Okay, because you don't want to. Is that why you say that?
It's not about that. I've come to realize something that I'm a Biafran. I see my Yoruba brother as an Oduan person, somebody who is from the Odua region.
You show
So
us show
that's
yourself the way I'm showing myself on the screen. Show more of yourself, yeah, so that we can see you properly. We want to be able to recognize. Not like
yeah.
that.
Can you see me
Not
now?
like that. Not like that. Just show yourself more. Like I'll show you. You see how you can see me how I show up there on the
Okay.
screen? No, just go back a little bit
Yeah.
on the screen. No, turn your phone around still. Turn it. Okay, like that. Yeah. And show more of your body. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Continue now. Sorry for that. Continue now. Okay, I think I've played with that one. Let me just give it back to him. Okay, continue now.
So I see myself as a Biafran because that's my nationality, and I've gone through who I am personally, and I've seen that I'm a Biafran. Yeah, you can call me a Nigerian, but the fact is, my root, my origin is a Biafran, and I can't hide it. I can't dispute it. I grew up in Lagos, right? I grew up in Lagos. I have Yoruba friends. My siblings, they got married from the Yoruba side, but I came to understand that we all have our own understanding, where we come from, who we are, what we do, how we live our lives. Can you hear me?
Hear you loudly
Hear
and
you.
clear. We can hear you
Hear you.
loudly and clear. Okay, the good thing about everything is that we thank you for coming, Frank Henry. We have
Yeah.
Frank Bello. We have Fatai. And the funniest thing is that Aya, have you got an F name as well?
Sorry?
Have you got a name that starts with F? You're not Fatai as well, are you?
Uh, no.
Because it's
No.
gonna be F.
No.
Guys online, we're gonna be having
We don't,
another
we
vote
don't
at
have
2 o'clock. We're gonna be having another vote at 2 o'clock. I want to see whether we can make we can make a rebel of this and vote tactically and get everybody to become F. So if you want to vote somebody else out, I really want you to vote Ayo Gundime out.
oh,
So
no,
that
fair. I
we can
stand
have
to fair.
F. We can have
Why,
Fatai.
they should have voted me out now.
No. What I'm trying to have is Fatai, Frank, and probably Femi or another F name. So everybody's name will be F. So then the next vote will be vote someone names that start with F out. And then when they vote someone with F name out, then everybody will be out. I'm just joking. I don't really want that to happen. I don't decide that. The people at home decide who goes out. It's not down to me. It's down to you, my lovely people at home. You know what? I'm surprised. We got 75 likes with 129 people watching. It means some people are watching without liking. If you're watching and you haven't liked, it means you haven't paid your bus fare. Pay your bus fare. Pay your bus fare. Hit the like button on top and let's continue.
Right now.
We're missing Quickie in the studio, but it's actually online as well typing.
Oh, you want me?
Ayo should stay. Yes, Ayo is staying. You can decide. No, I don't die here. You won't die. By the grace of God, you will live. Living is your portion by the grace of God. The Yoruba language was harmonized in the 1820. Prior to then, the various people have their various dialects. It would have been the same in the East, but for the divided and ruled of the oppressor. No more voting again. No, okay. You've just asked for it. No more voting again. So we will be finishing at 2 o'clock, guys. It's fantastic. Don't worry, Frank. Don't worry. I will adjust it. Don't worry about anything. You just stay there, guy. That.
No, it's all right. No problem. It's all right.
So I will adjust that one for you. That's not a problem for you. So honey,
Yeah.
magician. I'm a magician. You see, guys. Should we talk about the Chinese in Africa? In
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sanfara Forest, they arrest some illegal miners in Sanfara Forest that are mining illegally there. Whose fault is it? Our fault because they have to bring machine from country to use for mining. What happened to the custom? They didn't see all this machine when they were coming in, or how did the mining machinery comes into the country without anybody finding out, without anybody knowing? I'll give that to Ayo Gundimi first.
Yes.
How did the Chinese start mining without the necessary license?
Well, obviously, I'm afraid it's down to the old way of paying off people to look the other way while they go. Um, uh, once you see the cut of the money, African leaders or African whoever, once they see the money, their inclination is to accept the money and look the other way, and then pretend nothing happened. Um, you know, those in some respects, those who are coming into Africa, put yourself in their shoes just a little bit now. You're going into a place, you know that you can buy the big chief. Once you buy the big chief, you can get whatever you want. Um, we need to take cognizance of that ourselves. Those we call leaders, we got to make sure that we are in control of how those people are elected, and that's another problem. Many of what we know as leaders in Africa are often handpicked, handpicked servants, vassals. Even better word, they are handpicked vassals, and a vassal is a slave king, and that's what many don't realize. You see, colonization is still alive and kicking, but unless we address the root causes of it, and I'm not saying that's the only problem, I'm not, but I'm saying we need to understand the dynamics in which this thing is happening. As I'm speaking to you now, planes are flying into Congo at night, landing, picking up gold, diamond, and all kinds, and flying straight back out to Europe with no controls because they paid off the big chief in that area. So what Chinese are doing is not new. They are just getting into the game that the Europeans have been in for a long time. They are the new kids on the block, the new kids in town who are trying to earn themselves as quickly as possible from the gullible people. Now, there's a much deeper issue we need to look at as a group of people. That's why I talked about the need for us to ensure that we do not have leaders suggested to us by people who are not from within Africa. Unless we begin to take control of that narrative, I'm afraid Africa is in a lot of trouble. And that's why I'll stop there for now.
How are we going to have a leader that's not been suggested to us? Every time we want to choose a leader ourselves, they impose one on us, knowingly or unknowingly. Frank Bello.
Of leadership spread across all Africa, and I remember I addressed leadership crisis. Leadership crisis, when you look at it very carefully, right, is actually based on selection across Africa, and the same leadership is directly interwoven or is rooted into godfatherism. See, not that we don't have godfatherism in the UK. Within the Conservative Party, within the Labour Party, they've got godfathers, but the godfathers are silent. But back in Africa, let us look back at our history so that we can make meanings into how where we came from, where we are now, and where we're going tomorrow. Rewind. We had pre-independence the likes of the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sadarna of Sokoto, Tafawa Balewa, the founding fathers who fought for the independence of the country at the time. Now, the eldest of them all in that circle was the late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, by virtue of his educational qualification, by age, the most senior. The rest were under 30s who were leaders. Now, when we look at those leaders, what are the quality of the leaders this generation of leaders provided the country that they handed over that country to? They provided those leaders and they gave those people the education, the infrastructure, health, everything that the country needed. Now, let's go few years down the line after all these leaders, and I'll take it from Gowon's regime. We've got Gowon, we've got Obasanjo. Murtala Mohammed died. We've got Obasanjo. After Obasanjo, we had Shagari. Shagari died, but we've still got people who were in the Second Republic, still marauding themselves as leaders up till today. Now, this is a big problem because when you look at these people, they just refuse to leave the corridors of power. And why have they left? Why do they decided they were not going to leave the corridors of power? They were scared because the way those founding fathers, Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sadaruna, groomed and prepare leaders, they never did, and they are still in control up till today. So that issue needed to be addressed. I'll hand over back to you in the studio.
Henry, did you enjoy the free education?
Yeah, I did. I did.
And how was it?
Well, you mean in Nigeria?
Yes, then. Yeah. Did you enjoy?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, I did. Actually, it was nice. You know, that's all what we're talking about. That we need to go back the way things were before, because that is the only way we can be happy, we can have a better life. You know, but the fact is the way Nigeria is being governed now, it's making everybody look as if we don't know what we're doing. Yeah, even right here in Canada, they also have free education. If you know, like like when the constitution fee, it's free. You know, and these are countries that are developed. Not to talk of Nigeria, that we are still underdeveloped, and there is no free education. So I think there should be free education in Nigeria, but the way things are working now in Nigeria, I don't think they want to implement that, because those guys do not want to spend any money. All what they care is just for themselves.
But they don't even have money anymore in Nigeria. The money is
well,
petrol money.
That is another problem.
Things away from them. Okay,
that's another problem. There's no money.
We don't want to criticize the government again. We don't want to. There's no need to criticize. Okay, what can we do to make it better? Suggestion to make it better. Forget about division. Some people are saying division is done already. So, okay, it's been divided. Arewa, you guys are fighting for 3, but they're telling me it's 4 online just now. Which one? Arewa, Biafra, and Yoruba. They said there's one more. Who knows, Frank? You seems to be the genius of the lamb among us. Fatai. 3-4 division. What are we going for in Nigeria?
Well, I think let's go back to how it was.
The 3 regions,
that is
Western, Northern,
3 regions.
Eastern regions. But people online
and
are telling 4. They're saying we're making a mistake. That is actually 4. Middle belt. Which one is middle belt again? What are they going to call that one?
No. Midwest. Midwest was created after that. Midwest.
I think it was created just as a device to break the Southwest.
To break the yeah.
Okay. It was a political concoction. It was a
ploy.
political competition to break the back of the West so that they won't have any say
Of
over
the
the North.
Southwest.
Yes. That is just reality. And please, moderator, let me just add more to an earlier point that my brother Ayo was making
Okay.
as regards the Chinese
Money.
unbridled exploitation of the
Yeah. Show me
gold
the
mines.
money. Show me the money style.
Now, the point is this. Nothing happens in Nigeria without the connivance of those in government. We've been having not only on the oil sector, every aspect of Nigerian resources are being embezzled, being exploited, being stolen from communities, from states, from local
No,
governments.
Fatai,
No, let me no, let me land.
did you
Let
hear
me
this?
land. I
Did
have
you
my
hear
reason for
this
saying this.
message? Did you hear this message?
Far back,
That they said when
okay,
Abakari was there, he
yeah.
actually take the power for the Minister of Health to buy things, to purchase things. It takes the power away from him. And anytime the health sector want to buy something, they have to go to ministry, the minister in charge of agriculture, to say, we want to buy something for our department too. And that one will now take it to Abakari because Abakari hates seeing his face. Did you hear about that? Go ahead.
Now the point is this:
Yeah.
during the Abacha regime,
Yeah.
he sent military men to come to Ilesha in Oshu State to come and cordon off the area where gold were being exhumed from the ground,
Yeah.
because he used the federal might power then to make sure that that place was not being exploited by the local, because they had an information that locals were going there to mine gold. So back to what you are saying, many of those portfolio holding southerners in this government, they are just there by sheer name to pretend to the entire world that there is federal character or that southerners are getting involved as well. All this, the repower, they are not having the repower because they are trying to make sure that nobody within the southern part of Nigeria is being given opportunity to accumulate wealth, because they were thinking ahead of the time they are going to overrun Southwest, that nobody will rise up to their rescue. This is it's a plot. So all this, they being undermined, all this undermining of the health sector, trying to diminish the power of the health minister, all these are preconceived things they are doing to make sure that money doesn't flow to the south. It's part of it. As I said earlier on, the money we are spending in the south are the money from the diaspora, and then the money that are being given to the civil servants in the southern Nigeria. So the entire region of the south are completely in penury, in real poverty. I'm telling you, that's the reality. So not only on the oil sector security is linked simply because of the problem that Abakari had. You remember what happened far back to 2015 when Fashioner was given 3 portfolios and given less resources to manage it, because they were planning Fashioner's failure then. So no money will be provided for southern minister for them to be so given the opportunity to accumulate wealth that can help the cause of the southern region, because they know the plan they have for the southern region. This is the reality.
Very good. We really appreciate that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to free, because there's no more election and I have 2 people waiting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to
I don't mind, because let's give everybody the opportunity to express their views. I don't mind. I don't mind, as long as you can use your
let's do it
initiative
this way.
to.
Let's do it this way. I
Okay.
want to bring Olayomi Koiki and Femi Babalola in. So no, I want to bring Femi Babalola in. Yeah. So vote now. Kick one of these 4 people, 4 people out. Kick one of them out. Now. Let the vote come in. Let's kick one of them out. Yeah.
I don't mind.
Now let's kick one of them out, because we want to antagonize Femi.
I don't mind.
Still said something online that really, really gets to me, and I want to see it. Oh my word, that's not the one I want to open. I want to open the program today, but yeah. Just 1 second, please, guys. I think I'm gonna give it to Ayo Gudimo to be saying something about our constitution for while I try to figure out this one.
Right, what would you like me to say? Sorry. What would you like me to say?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Ayo Gudimo to talk more about the constitution.
Okay.
How we're going to write the constitution in Yoruba language and the Igbo
Yes.
language.
Okay. Right. Yeah, the task ahead is for constitution. I look. First of all, let's be very, very clear. If we go way back, we go way much further back. We were able to write our own idea of governance. We were so far advanced that the king would have a council of elders, and those council of elders included women. So this is not something new. It's not something that is like, oh, how going to do this? Oh, we had names for the various chiefs and the council heads and councils and all of those things. We had the market women, the market women leaders. They played a vital role in governance because the guess what? In any kingdom, if the people don't get fed, then your kingdom will crumble. So the women had a very important role in being women. Now, when they were making decisions, the king would bring in the women and all the chiefs and they would discuss. So this is what we're talking about. And it is very important that when we're writing up the new constitution that we will.
AY, can I
Yeah,
say something to you
yes,
quickly? Yeah, I'm gonna tell Prince
yes.
Daniel J. If you want Samuel Ekpa, bring him on. You said that yesterday, and I said, send me, inbox me. Let's bring him on. You didn't inbox me. We're gonna vote you out soon. We're gonna vote Simon Prince Daniel J out very soon. If you want us to bring Samuel Ekpa, bring him in. I think Frank said he's gonna contact him yesterday. Okay, the vote has come in. Oh my word, these people are wicked. What are you guys doing? This guy only just joined us now.
Oh,
Nigeria. What are you doing this for? It's the only Igbo man we
These
have in our
guys are
house.
these guys here
I,
in this platform they are brutal, man. They are
What
I,
wicked.
the hell is going on? Liz
They are
B.
wicked.
Bukaino.
These guys are wicked.
I,
Maybe Frank is just going to enjoy it.
I'm just like INEC
Yeah,
now.
let me just enjoy.
I can decide. I can say, no, this is not the way the vote should go.
These viewers on this channel are brutal.
Oh, okay. Mudash Olambi Wanenu Jimo said I should take A out. And he's the only one that says A. It doesn't
okay.
leave Frank and AYS. Why? Oh, who says that? Oh, God of mercy. Mr. Odili, I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to call you during the day. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, Frank, I'll call you tomorrow. Frank Henry, I'm
All
going to call
right,
you tomorrow because we need to
no
discuss
problem, no
something.
problem.
It was nice having you on the
All right,
show,
no
sir.
problem.
Right? The people
Yeah,
are
same here.
mean. They are very mean. Have you liked the channel, though? Have you liked the page?
Oh yeah, yeah, I did. Sure, I did.
Okay, please like the
I
page,
did.
share the page, and share. Invite. Actually, do me a favor. You see, you go to the page, you go to the community section, and in the community section, there's a button there that says invite all friends to like the page. Do that for me, and I will call you during the day tomorrow because I'm gonna do some other things with you. Please, yeah. God
No
bless you.
problem, no problem.
Nice one. You are the only
All
one
right.
that live honorably. The other people left. So
No, no problem. No,
nice
there's
one.
no problem.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care. Take care, Frank. Talk
All
soon.
right.
Yeah,
Take
bye
care. Thanks.
bye. Bye,
Yeah.
Frank.
Okay, we're gonna bring Femi Babalola in now. Uh, God of mercy. Okay, Ayo, you can continue while I bring Femi Ovala into
Right.
the studio, please. Yeah.
So, you see, our language, it's not by accident that we have Oweagba. Many of the things in our culture refers to what our elders did, and we often refer to them for guidance, for the ways forward. So our elders have they've already written in things for us, even by just word. Owegba, they say Owegba, which means like an old man's saying, an old man's way of looking at things. So when we are talking, we will put that in our language as Oduduwa people, and it's often giving us solutions to problems. So we don't have we can writing our own constitution is already, we are halfway there if we use that logic alone, because many of the ideas that work, they are simple ideas to bring a community together. For example, one thing I can say to you, if we were to write our own constitution, the ethos for the Oduduwa people would be this simple ethos. It's called Omoluabi. Now, Omoluabi means a good child, a child of that's been brought from a good house. Now, what do you need to be an Oluwabi? You need to be honest, righteous, be very, very thinking in terms of society rather than yourself. Be looking out for others. Be willing to share from whatever you have. Be willing to show the pride of the home you come from. So that means the way you carry yourself in your community, you are looking at the community spirit. That is what you are doing as an Omoluabi. This is part of what it means to be an Oduduwa person. So, right straight away, that would be the cornerstone of any constitution that we are writing, because it would mean that going forward, many of the roles you will be looking at doing as within the constitution, president or whatever it is, it's the core of it has to be Omoluabi. And because we are speaking the same language, people will get that. People will straight away understand. Remember the son of who you are. When you are in that post, you are not serving just yourself, you are serving your community. If you make a mess, it is not a stain only on your name, but on the name of your father, and also the standing within the community. So these are kind of things we have it ready and waiting. I will show you a book that Professor Banji Akintoye wrote, and I'll show you this. And it's Yoruba, the Yoruba people. Now, that book talks a lot about our history, about the achievements that we've done. The things that we've accomplished.
Ayo, can I say something?
Oh,
For guys,
sorry.
No. That's no problem. You haven't done anything wrong. For guys who doesn't know
Okay.
Professor Banji Akintoye, I will be having
Yes.
him on a one-to-one sometime before the end of this week. If you really want to listen,
Yeah.
you need to stay tuned. If you really want to listen,
Yeah.
I'm sure Ayo will push it when we finally get to have him.
Yeah. That'll be so. So I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, yes, it's someone I highly respect. Just much. I also, of course, including that bracket, fashion, and many others. The Senator Okuromu, many of these people, of our elders, they do come with some ideas, and I'm hoping that certainly, Egbo Frank Bello, I would hope that when we're looking into writing constitution and writing up things going forward as an Oduduwa republic, I'm certainly hoping that Egbo Frank Bello will have a hand in writing something about our constitution and with his wealth of knowledge, so that we avoid the pitfalls, the many pitfalls that this contraption we call Nigeria has either deliberately walked into or has been put in its place, in its path, to make sure it fell into it. Either way, whatever, it fell into it, and we are where we are. So for me, writing the constitution, certainly,
while you're there. Guys, I don't think we're going to bring anybody in again. It might be a pleasure to just call it a day. What do you think, Frank Bello?
Well, if the energy is still there, why not? If not, let's dissect it. You said 2 o'clock. It's only about about 30, 35, 40 minutes away. So if the energy is there, maybe that energy is what will bring about Odudua Republic and Biafra Republic. Who knows? Maybe just one word. It's going to trigger everything.
A message now that I will be having a gentleman at 12 o'clock tomorrow about some history of Yoruba land. That is why I was saying that. But we can continue. Say, give us a push about Nigerian Airways that they just said they established that they didn't materialize. Give us a push on that one.
I think I mentioned that yesterday.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did mention it. That's why I was thinking that maybe we should go. But people said Corona, Corona, Corona. They were shouting Corona here.
Well, if we have people who are actually with us, listening, there's no reason for us to disappoint them. At least they're not saying they're tired. So we've taken this.
These people are not tired. These people will keep you here till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We've given them 2 o'clock.
Without them, we're nobody.
We give them 2 o'clock to finish.
Okay.
And if we go earlier, we'll take us serious. It's like
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, because you already announced 2 o'clock. If you said probably 1:30, yeah, we take it to 2 o'clock.
Okay, let's go for it then.
Frank is full of energy anyway. I trust him.
I mentioned something.
Mr. Guribi don't remember because our production is usually we walk throughout the night.
Wow, are you serious? So I'm the only JC among you guys then, eh?
Wow, we never sleep. Publishing you don't sleep in publishing. We walk around the clock.
You said testimony as well. He can talk to you. He hardly rests. Mr. Thomas, he hardly have rest.
I think
24 hours.
Babalala is actually here. Oh, sorry.
Sorry for that, sir. I
didn't
know you were here already.
Don't worry,
I'm here.
I will adjust the camera.
That's my fault.
Ekaleo, Ekweto. Ekweto.
Okay, I think you're
using a laptop.
No, I'm using my Android phone.
Okay. Because it seems there's a little bit of feedback. I'm hearing myself back. Turn the volume down a little bit.
Mr. Babala, we have to chill down the volume.
Okay, 1 minute. Is it okay now?
I believe so.
Yeah, better.
Okay, it's better.
I think I can still hear my echo.
It's still there.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Let me just respond to Simon.
Yeah.
Simon.
Hello?
Where's Simon? Simon, this is far away.
Yeah, that's better.
We can hear you.
Okay, Ekale Kweto. I'm enjoying the program. I start following since when Mr. Azoka is gone.
We give them 2 o'clock to finish.
Okay.
If we go
Hello. The feedback is very bad.
Yeah, that's better.
we can hear you.
Okay, Ekale Kweto.
There's a lot of delay.
Hello.
I think we're having a situation whereby we're getting questioned by other communities to say why only Yoruba people.
Yeah, you know, I told you that before. We're not supposed to do that. That's why I was.
Yeah, I think if we probably get in Simon Epa, I'm sure it is too late probably, but next time maybe for the next politics.
Let me say this quickly. Henry the Great Agbo, right? Arrange somebody. Please inbox me your number on this. I'm gonna pin a number now. please send me your number, please. Yeah. Let me just pin the number. Okay, I've just pinned a number there now. So please inbox me, WhatsApp me your number, right? Odi Bartholomew, inbox me your number, please. Van Disu, inbox me your number. Chima, inbox me your number too. Yeah, and send me your number. Put your name next to it. Yeah, please. Yeah. Lady B, inbox me your number as well. And let's work it out. We need to work it out together. Lawal online, why do you inbox me your number as well? When you inbox me the number, please WhatsApp me your number rather. And that was so quick. That was excellent. You're so efficient, young man. That was very, very efficient. Someone just done that already. So that is good of you. So the number, I will call you guys tomorrow and we can talk better on this issue. We're having a very bad feedback from Germany. Because even though I mute your phone, I can still hear the feedback.
So I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you too. Okay, let's give it to Mr. Babalola. You put some few things earlier. You said some few things earlier.
Yeah, my salute to everybody, Mr. AYM, everybody there. Thank you very much. I will continue fighting. It's a long battle, and then I believe that God will help us to be able to win the battle, because it's not just a day battle. I quickly want to say something here tonight. What we are doing here, it's not a joke. It's about reality. But one thing is this: about independent of the Biafra, independent of Yoruba. Before we can even independent, come 2-3 ways. There's way of diplomacy. The second one is by we fight war. Let's everybody go. We fight. The other one is this: we come for referendum. So referendum out of it is a little bit blocked. Because it's blocked. Because why the referendum is blocked is this: the Nigeria Constitution. There's no referendum in Nigeria Constitution. That's a big problem. They have blocked it off. And then even if we have referendum in the Nigeria Constitution, because before you can go to United Nations, Article Section 50 of United Nations says that any country that want to separate, and they must have the referendum in the Constitution, which is not in Nigeria Constitution. So it's just we are just playing games here, because it's just we are just playing game, because if you see it very well, they are everywhere. They are everywhere. One of the very senior man from United Nations is from Nigeria. We have the other woman here who is from Nigeria. They are everywhere. I think that maybe the game is over. We have to try to look for another method. What can we do on silent to be able to get our liberation from the what we call
oppressors,
a one chance journey? Because it's just we are playing game. I will tell you the reality. It's true. Baba Akintoye, the world leader Congress, is trying his best, but I think it's too late. I will tell you the truth. I know what I'm talking about. It's too late. Except we want to go to war, a big war. And if you want to go to war with these people, they have a landscape, because in the northern part of Nigeria, Chad, Niger, Algeria, Morocco, all of them are there for them. So diplomacy I think it could be the only solution. Or if we find some of the our representative in National Assembly, if really they are really representing the Yoruba, or if really they are really representing the Igbo people. So if really they are representing their own people, I think they are the ones that are supposed to push more into Nigeria Constitution to have a referendum in our Constitution. That Constitution that is a one chance Constitution. Well, I just believe that one of these days something good will happen, that everybody will voice themselves. So that's just what I will just say here. And if Nigeria still want to remain, it's difficult for Nigeria to remain, because even if you have another president in 2023 that came from Yoruba land or from Igbo land, there's going to be an issue. There's going to be a big problem on ground. So the country cannot live together, because the Yoruba will not forgive some of the Hausa people in the north or middle belt will not forgive what the Fulani Eggmen or the Boko Haram did to them. They won't forgive all these things. This thing is still in their mind, you know. So we are in big mess. I will continue saying we are in big mess, but the big mess, we can use diplomacy and an idea. We need people. We need a lot of IQ idea. The people that know how to play the games, you know, to get us to fight for us to get out of this mess, you know. So on independence strategy, you know, yeah, and I believe it can work on diplomacy or other way around. Our people in the National Assembly, I think they should try to push more or call for referendum. Referendum is the only answer of the Yoruba to go their own way. Even I remember when Mr. Azoko says that the Yoruba are not united. I can agree with Mr. Azoko in one point there. There's a lot of organization, too much organization. Too much organization is too much in the Yoruba land. And those organizations, majority of them are just looking for what they are going to eat. That is it. I'm not afraid of them. And you people talk about the politics in Nigeria before. Really, the people that destroy Nigeria are the chairman of the party, state chairman, war chairman. They mess up the country. They mess up the country. And then after they mess up the country, the society themselves really grab on the mess up, and then they're still working on it. That is it. Both from the west, from the east, and the north, they messed up everything. The war leaders will be telling you that is the time that you're supposed to make their own money. If you don't have money, please step aside, you know. And then Nigerian people don't ask questions. You know, I know what I'm talking about. And then someone mentioned about the OBJ. Well, I think that if power can destroy, and power can repair. What we're trying to do here now, we are trying to create how can we bring a solution to what I've already destroyed. That is power. You know, and if we really mean what we are doing, for sure, there's a lot of strategy, you know, that can really put in place and it's going to work. Yeah. So that's what I would just say for now.
Okay. Really appreciate your contribution, because your contribution will go a long way to help us. I think people are saying we should go, actually. I really enjoy from Bello and AY so much for the show. Wow, I hope that's a man. Okay, we have Awusa. Okay, Adeshola, let's have an Awusa tomorrow. Let's have an Awusa person tomorrow. It's coming. Okay, tomorrow will be better.
I think the echo is from your end, moderator.
Yeah, it's not from me.
No, it's from me. It's from me. I'm so sorry for that. That's from my side. That's from my side now. Okay. I took my what's it called? No, it's not from me. Okay. I will tell you a list from now. Okay, I've stopped it now. Yeah. It's not from me, but I managed to control it, so that's good. That's good. Simon Ekpe is needed. Francis, get him to us. Send me his number. I'll call him tomorrow, and then we get him in. Mr. Babalola and Frank, we talk about getting Nnamdi Kanu online as well. and I left it with both of you. I hope you guys are watching.
Yeah, I told people yesterday that Nnamdi Kanu is alive. We saw his broadcast today, so he's alive.
Was he a
So
video? Was he a video broadcast? No, he's alive. We know that. He's just taking medicine
mm,
and everything.
No, it was a live broadcast. I watched it.
I watched it.
yeah, he's
We
alive.
watched it.
And
We watched it.
Okay,
yeah, Nnamdi Kanu is alive. Nothing happened to Nnamdi Kanu.
quiet. Unlike the way Buhari is doing it. He has ETA and they say something about him. And instead of keeping them quiet, it's not keeping them quiet, which is silly. It's silly. Frank, thank you for coming with us today.
Yes.
Try and bring Simon Eto. We will be glad to have him on the show. Guys, I am tired. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. What I'm gonna do, I'll leave 1, 2, 3, 4 people on the screen, and then you guys just interact. Yeah? Is that a deal?
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, you can leave anyone. Yeah.
So I'll leave the four
Yes.
of you now. Koiki will be in bed. I'm sure he will be in bed now. Olayomi Koiki is here.
Let me give room for other people.
Okay. You know what? Let's finish it. We start early tomorrow. We won't start that late tomorrow, and then we can have more people because I could see the figures have dropped drastically now. And then
I think, yeah, people are sleeping. I think.
when I say
The echo is still on.
Or is it from Mr. AY?
it might be. I don't think so. Does Nigeria have a constitution? Yes. Okay. Mr. AY, Ade Omoluabi Oduduwa needs to get the constitution. He needs to get a link to the constitution. Please, he needs to get a link to the constitution. So if you go to Citizen AY on Facebook, you can see the constitution there. There's a gentleman, the one with the one underneath on the right hand side. He has the constitution, and he can actually send you a link.
Can I quickly say something? Does the organization is registered?
Does the what?
The organization is it registered?
Which organization, sir?
The one that Mr. AY is talking about.
No, we are talking about the constitution.
Okay. Yoruba Constitution.
Yes. No, Nigerian Constitution.
Nigeria Constitution.
Fraudulent document.
Okay, so guys,
It is well.
I really love you guys all today, and I really appreciate you guys for what you're doing. If anybody is watching me from Nigeria today, please inbox me your number. I think you deserve a data voucher from us. If you're watching from Nigeria, you deserve a voucher from us, a data voucher from us. And we will arrange that for you straight away. If you're watching from us, as a token, inbox me the number. I'll pin the number earlier on. And if you can't find the number, if you go to our Facebook page, the number is there. Inbox me the number, and then we take it from there. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Femba Valola. I really thank you. Ayo, this man, the first day I met him, he was so humble, so pleasant that I just fell in love with him. I met you at the town hall of Showore. That's where I met him, and he's been so supportive, so there for me, and he introduced me to Frank Bene. I met Fatai Kobido by chance. That one, yeah, that one. So Femba Balola is someone that knows a lot and has a lot of knowledge, and I really thank you because I can leave you, and I thank what you've done today about what we discussed yesterday about putting our sentimental aside and taking our course forward. What time tomorrow? 8 o'clock. It won't be late tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow is
And I would like, can I say something?
go
I would
ahead,
like
sir.
to bring some. I would like to send number. I would like to send you the number of somebody
Okay,
from Russia. They are Yoruba in Russia, a very strong group from Russia
okay,
and in Canada. Okay,
okay.
then
Inbox, not on
there
not
was
online,
maybe
inbox.
Emma Soro. Teba Soro. So from there, Emma will be
Bring them.
yeah, please, yeah. They will bring
Okay,
them on there. They are
that's
very,
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 very
very,
possible. That's
very,
very good. The more the
very.
merrier.
I'm just laughing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh,
Okay, that will make things
um,
better for us. Yeah, guys,
yeah.
thank you very much, and I love you
Mm.
all,
Thank you.
regardless of where you're watching from, in Russia, in Nigeria. Hold on. No, that's a kangaroo constitution. Okay, we know that. I know we have a constitution, sir. Okay. Ayogun. Oh, fantastic. You see, this is what I'm saying about Ayogun. He's a very hand-on man. He sent the constitution already. So I can unpin what I put there before. Ade Omoluabi Odudua. That's the constitution there for you now. Thank you all. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock is another day. But before 8 o'clock, I have something about 2 o'clock for you guys. Yeah, someone that knows about the history of Nigeria, like in the back of his hand. He was telling me today, I said, no, 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 no. This is not for me. This should be for everybody. Reserve it, reserve it, reserve it. 2 o'clock tomorrow, we'll bring in somebody that knows about everything we want to talk about. We love you guys. We love you. We love you. Without you, we cannot be here. Remember, if you're watching from Nigeria, please inbox me your number. All right, from Nigeria, inbox me your number, and I will verify that you actually watch. And we will do better. If you have not liked the page, please like the page. If you have not shared, please share more. We only got 16 shares today. Yesterday we have 189 shares. 189 shares today. Yesterday, and today 16 shares. We got only 100 likes. I don't know why. I still have to say, let's join hands together to build our own nation, not destroy Nigeria. Forget about Nigeria. They said Nigeria is not there. I really love you. Until next time, tomorrow evening, I come your way again. I remain Ade Thomas, your friendly host. I think the voting. Frank Bello, what do you think about the voting idea?
I'll leave that to the viewers and the audience across the world.
What do you think about the
Then
voting
they
idea?
decide. It's a good thing.
Fem Babalola, what do you think about the voting issue? I think
In
it spice up
Nigeria,
the program.
No,
Okay,
no,
the
today I'm
on the
not
vote in
gonna
program.
lie,
Nigeria,
guys. I
on
really
the
love you.
No,
program, yeah,
no,
it's
No,
good.
Heritage has
It's
to make
good.
everything.
It's good. The voting the program is very good. Yeah,
You mix heritage.
yeah, it's
Thank you very
good.
much,
Yeah.
sir. I really love you guys. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
you,
we
and
have a lot of people that are making comment more than the a lot of people are making comment, and it's very good program. Yeah.
okay, thank you very much, sir. Guys, we love you all. Collectively, we want to say bye bye to everyone. Bye. Bye. God bless you. See you on
Bye bye to
tomorrow.
Nigeria.
Thank you. That was
Hello, I'm Susan Jumoke Fajano Thomas. It is important for us to stay at home. It is important for people to stay at home. By staying at home, you will help control the spread of the virus. You will help control the virus from spreading to your friends, colleagues, and the community. It is important we come together at this time to work together to support each other. Is by doing this and by staying at home that we can fight this virus. Also, it is important to practice social distancing, which means you need to stay 2 meters away from other people at all times. Please, let's do it together. Hashtag stay at home. Thank you.
Heritage TV. La 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 la. Heritage TV.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.